with Sharif and Joe. Go get them. What? No?
More short NVIDIA right now.
What do you mean?
Remember, doesn't like that. What is up, beautiful people?
Hey.
Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your boy Joe, and I am Sharif, and we're back. And we're going to give everyone a nice welcome as soon as they weasel their way on over from the other chat. We got Darwin dancing up a storm. What up, Mateus Lane? Yo, 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 a proper paradox and pitch bull. We got Bot Ricks, and we got Cristiano Ronaldo, and Max Trades and Investing. What up, man? The beautiful Gate, Scott Henderson, and Robert Isaac. We got Artemis, like the moon mission, the NASA moon mission. That'd be fantastic. Cesar Sandoval. We got Ruben and Asta, Neil, Rob, Steven, Soy, I think, Vic, Yan, Novak. We got Blue Arrow, Bonxilla, Marius Lyman, Sweeping LH, Fiddleback, Day Trader Cut. We got the Gauntlet, baby. We even have useless info in the chat. I mean, I don't know. It's a good day when useless info's in the chat.
Hey, that's
right?
it. That's it.
How are you, man?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
Not too bad, man. It's beautiful weather outside. Got in a nice little walk. No humidity today because humidity is just, it's brutal. How are you doing? I'm
good, brother. Ready for an action-packed midday show and ready to get rolling here. So, you like anything today, Sharif?
Let's have a look at what's moving right now. I think people were saying something about SMCI. I'm not really sure what's going on there, Joe. No, we're kidding. Of course, guys, this is still halted to the downside. Look, we're getting trickles of information coming out here about the different scopes of investigation that the Justice Department is trying to investigate. So here's the headline: Justice Department probes server maker SMCI, not seeing any more information. As Brendo brought that to you guys, this is being reported by the Wall Street Journal. As soon as we get more info, like more details about the scope of the investigation, we'll tell you. And here's some right here. Accounting violations. The probe is at an early stage. Prosecutors at the U.S. Attorney's Office in San Fran recently had contacted people potentially holding relevant information, goes on to say the Wall Street Journal. So if you want to read the whole thing, head on over to the WSJ there. But man, 13.13% to the downside, halted, short sale restricted.
On a $400 stock too, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, other than that, Sharif, I really like Bitcoin today.
Let's see it.
Bitcoin looked like it was about to break out. So if we could pull up my chart here, that would be
fantastic.
SMCI
is open.
SMCI is open. So yeah, touching on from what we went on before and just my style of trading, we like Bitcoin. We like where it was opening up today. Strong possible breakout, and we did just that, Sharif. We took the breakout on Bitcoin, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Love it.
For sure.
You went IBIT, eh?
We went IBIT. We like IBIT.
Tell us a little bit about the setup, Joe. What were you looking at? Would you wait for it to come in? What were the beak wetters, et cetera?
Yeah, so exactly. So what we did is, as you can see here, we waited for IBIT to, let's see, pull back through VWAP here. And then as soon as we had any little bit of momentum and strength throughout the tape, we took that break of VWAP. And through that break of VWAP, we took partial here,
love it,
partial here, and then unfortunately we cut a little bit prematurely at the break-even stop, but that's okay because it would have stopped us out down here anyways. With the rest of the market pulling in and everything else being weak, we like that out there, Sharif.
Bang, I love it too. And we were just, you and I were both looking back at the Mora indicator that sits behind us. His name is Big Patty Ice, baby, BPI,
baby.
and he's taking Mora short, and he was taking it short off the top. You had a nice rounding top. Let's just build on this point here, Ram. I want to show the Mara chart over here. Look at this. We top out 17. Let's call it 45. It wasn't even 45. It got to 42. Didn't even make its way to 70. Super random. There's the lower highs, lower low. You get this candle confirming 1055 on the way down. You get the big boy break of the volume weighted average price as well as the break at the whole dollar level, Joe. 17 gave way. Big Patty Ice, you still holding? Yeah. Big Patty's Ice is still holding the position. He's looking for this one to bleed. We're going to shout him out and hope he prints up multiple weather storms over there, and we'll check back in with him later. Here is a quick look at the small cap gappers, and you'll notice obviously SMCI and Mara and Micron are on there. They're not small cap gappers, but they've made their way onto the side charts today based upon their price action. You're getting a bit of a bounce here, guys, in Micron, as well as it bounces through that 109, a bit of a double, I don't want to say bottom tail candle, but it kind of looks like that. SMCI as well. You're not going to catch me going long in there, but you have a bottoming tail candle as well as a doji candle, a candle of indecision, and now it is above 400 again. You're not going to see me touch this one, but this is very, very volatile at the moment, presenting you with multiple opportunities. LASE and CAPR are holdovers from the prior days. Duo, is this Duolingo? No.
Yeah, it's Duolingo.
It is, man. You know I'm learning. No, it's not. It's Fanged Network. Okay, whatever. It's okay. I thought it was Duolingo. I was about to go on
What is Duolingo? What is Duolingo? I swear it's Duo, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. Is it? This is real estate brokers, it says. I have no idea. We'll have to look up the ticker after. But yeah, that's it. I'm looking at Duo. I'm looking at DTSS, Joe. CAPR, as I mentioned. LASE, a holdover from yesterday. But we all know why Joe's here. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and we got to fill up some gaps, and that's why this man is here, the options extraordinaire,
Yes,
Joe.
sir.
We have a lesson du jour, do we?
We have a lesson today,
All right,
and you know what? We are going to continue our lesson on credit spreads. So,
Love it. Yeah, I can take over while you set up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to set up here shortly. Couple seconds.
Yeah. Come to my screen while Joe sets up. Guys, Apple started moving midday, and I really still don't understand why. I looked up, I went up and I talked to Brendo. We saw a headline that didn't make a whole lot of sense. It's with Jabil. They announced a restructuring. They reported earnings. Didn't make a whole lot of sense other than possibly a supplier of Apple giving good information about demand, perhaps for components for the iPhones. Unsure about this, but all I know is Apple found a bottom at around 225.5. It technically went to 41, and then Joe, we made a new high a day off that bounce, 228.50, holding though above the volume weighted average price, right at that 227 now, knocking on the door of 228 again. So we're going to keep an eye on Apple, but for now though, we do have some options we want to talk about, so take it over, my man.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So this is part 2 of our original lesson here. So before we dive into things, we'll do a quick recap, Sharif, and then we'll continue. So again, what we talked on last week, what credit spreads are. So they consist of multiple contracts of the same class, all right? So it's a fixed profit strategy, multiple scenarios to construct a profitable trade, and use our delta Greek as a percentage metric. This is what we touched on last week, all right? So we know that when we're trading options credit spreads, that it's a fixed profit. So when we create this trade, we know how much we're gonna make right off the bat. Boom, that's it.
Love it.
We use our delta to create these high probability setups. We like that. So moving forward, what we're gonna get into now is the remainder of the Greeks.
Got it.
And this Greek is what us option sellers love. This is theta. So Sharif, when we create a credit spread, we like to theta. Theta is our key metric. This is what time decay is, all right? So when we create this spread and we have a weekly contract expiry, theta chews at the value, away at the value of our spread.
Got it.
So when I create a spread, say, and I collect $20 on this spread, each day, the contract value will slowly diminish day by day, especially if the stock is moving in our favor, all right? So this is exactly what we're looking for. Theta is one of our key metrics in the Greeks in option selling, all right? So moving forward, we had some questions on implied volatility and everything last week. So implied volatility is also key because when we have implied volatility, we use Vega. Our Greek Vega is another metric that we like to see. So we don't want to sell options when Vega is extremely low.
Okay.
We would like to catch Vega when it's high and on the way down. And what that means is when we're selling options and implied volatility is extremely high, say after an earnings announcement or a big catalyst, we want to catch the full amount of premium we possibly can, all right? And then as time goes by, the average true range, what we can also use to correlate the implied volatility, will slowly come down as well too. So now we're catching something that's extremely volatile at its peak, collecting max premiums to the point where now it's slowly diminishing and the stock day by day isn't fluctuating as much. So that's so much better for us.
Interesting.
All right? So those are the Greeks. We have delta, we have theta, and we have Vega that we want to keep our eyes on, all right? So moving forward, now that we know what Greeks we're looking for, we have technical analysis and stock selection. So it doesn't matter how good of a delta selector you are or how you implement these Greeks. If you're not in the right stock, our chances of success are slowly going to diminish. So we'll hold off here, and Sharif, we got MU pulling back up towards
yes, sir.
VWAP.
I like that. I like that, sir, because there's a lot of stuff that's moving. You're absolutely right. Micron, you know, it's only up 14 and 2/3, Joe. It's not that big of a mover on the day. No, I'm kidding, of course. It did breach 110. Now it is right back at 110, Joe, and it's right back at the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. I want to see if it breaches it, but what the area that I'm looking for is this implied balance low that we printed at 940, this 110.50. Look at this double bottom over here. I like the possible retracement if we're able to break through the 10 exponential. I'm looking more to that 20 at 1075, 1050. That could be an interesting area, but I gotta tell you, I like to pretend that I'm a trend trader, and I think taking Micron short on a day that it's up 14.5 and completely bamboozled the market, you know, relative to expectations, of course, I think it might be a bit of a risky trade. But here is the other one right next to it that everybody's talking about right now, SMCI. Here the big kahunas also to my right talking about it, Joe, because it weaseled its way right back up to 410 after making a 382.25 low. It's zigging. It's moving dollars at a time, baby. This thing scares me half to death, to be honest with you. 460 or 458, excuse me, was the closing print from yesterday. So we've almost literally bled $100 from the top. We didn't quite. We got to 382, but as I mentioned, 358 was the closing print. So much weakness in this name. We already know that there was a Hindenburg hit piece on this in August. So I guess the feds maybe did some work, actually investigated the hit piece. Maybe they found something. We'll find out. More information trickling out. Joe, what are you looking at?
Absolutely. So yeah, we got our eyes on Bitcoin here. We like the strength within Bitcoin. So that's what we really have our eyes on today. We're trading back towards VWAP, which we really, really like, as you can see from our first entry here. So if we get any more relative strength in the market, if we start to pull back, maybe we take another stab here at Bitcoin, Sharif.
I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's have a look over here at some of the big tech names. Haven't really been yapping about those too much. We mentioned Apple, that it was able to kind of catch that mid-morning bounce there right at 9:45. It started making highs. Look, I really don't know what's going on with Apple today. It made a topping tail candle to 228.50. Now it's trying to hold VWAP, but it's making lower highs. So I don't know about this one. The one that I do like, though, for this area, and that's basically kind of moving with the market, I kind of feel, is Tesla. It's right back at that 10 exponential moving average. I wouldn't mind taking a short here, giving this one a try. Let's take a look here. I don't want to take off CAPR because I want to trade that later. TSLA. Here we go. Let's have a look here at Tesla. We're at 254.10. The 10 exponential is at 58. So I am front running it, but it did actually already make its way into the 10 exponential. We're going to give this one the old college try, Joe. We're going to give this one maybe wet my beak here at 88. We're already printing on it, Joe. We're already printing on it. There it is.
I was bullish on Tesla a little bit too this morning, and everything is coming in. The overall market seems a little bit weak. As you can see here, as much as we talk about our winners, we do have to go over what we did try today, and we tried our VWAP break system on NVIDIA. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that's just the way the game goes. So we did punch in here at the break of VWAP. As you can see, we have bottoming tail candles, as Sharif is always telling you guys. So we punched that VWAP break, and it did not work. So what do? We get out of the trade. When we know things aren't working, we're not going to hold on to losers. And again, when you're trading for a long, long time, you know when your system's going to work or when it's not, when that trade's going to work and when it's not. And when it's not, you need to get out, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Getting back into Tesla, wet my beak on some profits on the first trade. I'm looking to defend this into around the $0.50. So I'm willing to risk a little bit here. I'm looking to add, if it weasels its way possibly back into the $0.50, I'm going to set something up possibly in the mid-30s to get something a little bit more short here. Tesla's strong. I don't put any disrespect on this one's name. It had a nice little move down as well earlier on. Let's see if it's able to reclaim that average. There we go. We get the addition there, but it is kind of zigging and zagging at the moment. So we're going to have to give this one to the $0.50. Otherwise, we want no smoke from this one. 254, and then we're going to give it like that. So So where are we at? We're short 16s. We got to set something up, possibly near the whole dollar there. But the stop is going to remain in place. The stop to the high side is going to remain in place. I'm looking at a 254 drop. Here we go into the mid-teens again. I'm looking to wet my beak into the single digits before the whole dollar comes into play. Should be, there we go. Now we got the print, Joe. So we're short 31s. We're 30 some odd pennies in the money. Let's see if we can bleed a little bit more. What are you looking at, my man?
Perfect, brother. And I'm looking at MU. We had earnings last night, and they had a strong report. They had a double beat. I'm not too sure how. Did they raise guidance?
MU?
MU?
God,
yeah.
$8 billion for the next quarter. And listen to this, bro. 40% gross margins on a physical product. This ain't SaaS. This ain't software.
So what are we doing today? I don't know why we're pulling back. Again, this stock, we did try it. We took a little bit off here. We punched same system. We took the trade, a break of VWAP. We got a little bit off, and then unfortunately we got stopped break even before we pulled out and pulled back. So let's see if we can trade any little bit higher, but I like MU today because it has a strong catalyst, and maybe, you never know, we might get our beaks wet in this one.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Adam Deluce, my man. Happy early birthday, Adam. I see where you're at, man. I know you're in Paris. Shout out to you, my man. I hope you're enjoying the time with the wifey there, and we can't wait to have you, obviously, on this side of the pond. Waiting for you over here. The Big Kahuna has been talking about it as well. Pumped Adam, my man Adam Deluce, Arsenal fan extraordinaire, obviously. How do you think we did yesterday, Adam? Pretty good. I like that Nathan put in a brace. I want to see Nathan, ascend. He's an academy player. I love that. Let me know how you feel about that, Adam. All right, guys, let's have a look at some more stuff over here, Joe, because Apple is respecting, for whatever reason, the volume weighted average price. And here's the funny thing, too. There is a nice little shelf here, about a 15-minute shelf that we put in from 10:20 to about 10:30. So that's 10 minutes, obviously, but it takes up 3 5-minute candles. And the top there essentially was 227. Funny enough, we get that big boy break right at 10:35, but look at this. All of a sudden, this 227.10, 227, acting now from previously support, now acting as resistance. I am alive to the fact that we are putting in lower highs. So what could that mean, Joe? Flat bottom dang break. Where's that flat bottom? 227 possibly, in and around that volume weighted average price. We're going to have to keep an eye on Apple, Joe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So I'm in IBIT. I told you guys earlier that I like this setup. I like where it's going. Let me pull it up on the chart here. And Mara's trading higher. We got Bitcoin trading back above BWAP again. So we're in a little bit. We got our beak wet, Sharif, as you like. So just getting our toes wet here as we trade a little bit to the top side. Again, this thing is absolutely strong. We've been chopping around for a long time in IBIT. So I don't know, is it time for us to make all-time highs in the near future on Bitcoin? What do you think, Sharif?
Look, dude, I have no skin in the game here.
No,
none. I got no crypto exposure.
Oh
I know it's a wrong move. It's a wrong move. But I am so bullish on this tape. This is going to like $250,000.
$250,000, at least $250,000 in the next couple of years before the next halving cycle. So we'll really like that. $250,000, we'll take it. $500,000, whatever it is. We are bullish on Bitcoin, absolutely.
My man, Hog Rider, dropping TA knowledge. I love to see that, Hog Rider. He is positing a possible inverse head and shoulders on the Cybertruck. My man, Hog Rider, I love the look. You're absolutely right. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But we got to wait for the pattern to manifest, right? And I love how you're thinking, because what trend should precede an inverse head and shoulders? A downtrend. We got a nice downtrend here on Tesla. And remember, all this stuff is fractal, right? You can chart on the weekly or you can chart on the 5. But I'm always going to tell you, the lower down on the time frame you go, the higher the failure rate is for TA. Take that for what it is, but that's real. So we got, I don't know, man, it kind of looks like pivot points over here, Hog Rider, around 255 acting as a neckline. Let me know what you think, Hog Rider, with respect to the neckline there for that inverse head and shoulders. Obviously, we'll have to wait for it to manifest. But yeah, Tesla has been awfully strong lately. A couple of reasons, guys. Obviously, we know that the October 10th, what is it called? Robotaxi. Thank you, guys. Yeah,
full FSD. I think. At that time.
We're gonna get some details on that, and more excited I could not be. But that's not the only reason Tesla's been running up. Q3 deliveries coming in hot, coming in soon, and all eyes are going to be on China, baby, because we want to see if that demand for Chinese or by the Chinese for Tesla, because it's their second biggest market, is still intact or not, or like the cell phone business, these Chinese cell phone makers starting to eat everybody's lunch.
Huawei, well, they just released a new phone.
Yeah, they did, man.
As well.
What do you think about that?
So, hey, you know what? I know nothing. Yeah, it looks pretty cool though, right? It kind of opens up really cool. So I don't know. The phone looks nice. I've never owned a Huawei or anything like that. So all I know is that the CEO, I'm pretty sure, was in jail in Vancouver for a while.
Meng Wanzhou.
Yeah. So I don't think she's over here anymore. Other than that, we're still in this Bitcoin position. We really like Bitcoin. We're going to hold on to it. We all know that it's a volatile asset, so we're going to hold on. We still have a little bit before our out, so we're liking it. Mara's trading to the top side, so we like that. So any relative strength in this thing, we really, really like.
All right. I'm still looking here at Tesla. I like that look by Hog Rider with respect to that inverse head and shoulders. Just keeping my eye on it. You're not going to see me first to the party, but I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. Now, the other thing I'm keeping my eye on, guys, 227 AAPL. Keeps bouncing off that level. But, big but. Lower highs, guys, with that flat bottom at 227. I really don't want a lot of this smoke unless I'm getting it on the back end, for example. So if it starts bouncing off 227, making higher highs. We're not getting higher highs. We're still getting lower highs. So I'm a little concerned. I mean, I could try to take a dip trade off 227, maybe give it to 226.80, right? Risk 20 pennies to possibly make $1 because that 228 level's, I think, feasible. So we could give that the old community college try. I mean, I don't know. I don't need to jump into this trade super quick. I can watch it still because we're much closer to VWAP than we are to the highs. By the way, HOD on AAPL 228.50. So I'm still keeping my eye on that, Joe. But we bled on this market, man. We're only up 1/3%, a little bit less than 1/3%, dude, after being up well higher, over 20,000.
Yeah, we like it. We got Mara making new highs today, too. We know BPI in the back is absolutely smashing it on that one. So shout out BPI. And yeah, other than that, Mara, we like this. The crypto miners, they're volatile, too. They go with the volatility of Bitcoin and everything like that.
Right.
So we're keeping our eye on Mara. When it starts moving, it really moves. As you can see from a daily perspective, it's broke out.
Guys, his chart?
Yeah. So higher days here on Mara, brand new higher days. We're breaking out here on the daily. We like that. We like these daily breakouts. That just adds more conviction into our trades. If you're looking to play the breakout and you have conviction and I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but it works with the daily, then take the trade, right? When everything is combining together, take the trade. And if it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, just be prepared to take another entry.
All right, I'm long Duo. I long Duo because it got to the volume weighted average price, and I'd like to give this one a bit of a try here. So we're going to give this one a little bit of room. I see a possible head and shoulders on it. I get it. I see it. Left shoulder, right shoulder, head. I see it, and it can be skewed a little bit. It doesn't have to manifest into that pattern. It is a possibility. So I'm going to give this one a try, and while I let it manifest, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It has a $7.2 million market cap. It's traded an eye-watering 176 million shares on the day, and it's got a float, Well, this is giving me possibly wrong information, so we're going to give Michael Noss and his boys there at Trade Ideas a shout out. Okay, so Duo, float 6.4 million two shares, short float 15.5. I like that. It's not the biggest I've ever seen, but certainly something off which to work. 15.47 technically is exactly where it is there. Now, what's my out? I'm looking for like possibly $1.24, $1.25, owing to the resistance level that we put in on what we see as possibly a right shoulder there. So I'll be looking to wet my beak in and around there, Joe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and we're in Bitcoin. This Bitcoin trade is working. We're looking to take a little bit off the top here. So as we continue to move to the top side, we like this, and maybe we'll look for a reload eventually if this decides to continue to trend for the rest of the day. So other than that, we like this breakout. We like the Bitcoin breakout. Even though the overall market, it seems like we've kind of stalled a little bit here, Tesla holding the bottoms, and we're just looking to continue to go higher. Eventually, if this market catches a bid, we can continue to go higher again. And with the looming election, who knows how much higher we can go?
Bro.
We can have some really strong bullish days coming up leading into the election.
And that's, Joe, I was of the bias that I thought we would whiffle and waffle until the election came into play because the market likes certainty. And Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have fundamentally different ways that they want to take the economy. So you've got to assume there's really no certainty there now. If you want to go on the betting markets, the Katina man was updating me on the betting markets this morning. That's one thing. But I still, you know, anything's possible so far.
Anything is possible. Absolutely, absolutely. I know Camilla wants to start the basic income, I guess, and everything. So Donald's more of a corporate guy, as we know. Donald Trump is a corporate guy, so we like that because that's good for stocks. Tax reliefs, everything, that's good. That's good for our Mag 7 as well, too.
Yeah, man, it's a wild show right now. Adam, what's the weather like in Toronto? Absolutely perfect, my man. We got low 20s right now, decent weather, no humidity. Adam, that is an issue. In the east coast of North America, we always have humidity. That is just part and parcel. And there it is, Joe. Duo breaking through that 120. I love these small cappers, bro.
Let's
wait. Let's see if we can break through that 1 1/4 now, because that's kind of the right shoulder I was looking at there for the inverse head and shoulder. Even if it isn't, it is still a resistance level owing to the fact that we crested in and around there at $1 1/4. So I'd like something possibly at $1 1/3.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we got this fill here on IBIT, and we're looking to continue to go higher. Let's continue to go. Hopefully we can make a new high a day, and that would be absolutely wicked. So yeah, shout out Sweeping L. Trump Bitcoin friendly, he is. So I think he just paid with something, a slice of pizza or something like that, I believe it was. With Bitcoin. So, hey, if we can do that, at least he's not the guy who bought a Domino's pizza for 350 Bitcoin way back in the day or whatever it was. So, unfortunately, that would be hard to sleep at night buying some Domino's pizza when you have a boatload of Bitcoin.
What's the problem, Fabian?
A boatload of Bitcoin. So, yeah, we're trading higher. If we get up to these 3710s, we're going to look to take a little bit more off the top here, Sharif.
I love it. The Katina man wants to know what's going on. He's like, what's the Chilean Nightmares beef? Shout out to Fabian, man. Absolutely killing it on the 1s and 2s. What's Ram doing? Oh, okay. Just joking. Love Ram. Just teasing here. Look, man, we're still holding Duo. Now we're inching into that $1 1/4. Now we're at $1.24. The bid is quite aggressive, Joe. And the thing is, the buyers are moving up on the level too.
In there.
Yeah, and I like that. And what I mean by that, guys, is that the buy orders are shown obviously on the left side of the level 2 on the bid. Now, when that big size moves up with you, essentially what it's doing is it helps backstop you in case that big seller, and don't fool yourself with these small cap gappers, the big sellers will come in because it doesn't take that much money to move them. So if that big seller comes in, at least you know that there's a buyer behind you that could at least for a moment prevent the price from bleeding even more. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's something to take into consideration when trading these. But I love small cap gappers. It's small cap gapper season, baby. We had Luis Barbado on dropping hot lines this morning about how he would want to trade them. And Luis had some data points that I had never seen in my life, man. Luis was like, I don't know if you got to watch a small cap gapper review. I know that Katina man, not really. Yeah, that's not his jam. But like, I got to go back and look at the morning segment with Luis. But he had data points there with respect to percentage chance of this small cap gapper turning red on the day, and like stuff that I hadn't seen. And it looks like it was all proprietary, to him, because it was an intranet network that off which he was getting that data. So super interesting. I'd love to reach out to him and find out exactly what the sitch is there. All right, if I can show my screen, Chilean Nightmare, because CAPR is coming in. Right, chill. CAPR is coming in to that 10 and 10.5, 10 2/3. I like CAPR here, possibly owing to this area crest that we put in at 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So right here on CAPR, this is a big day. It's a date number, not big day for CAPR. It was a big week because it was moving big yesterday. It's only up 2% today. But if I can extract some money off this, I certainly will. 10.5, 10 2/3. That's where I'm looking. Joe, what are you doing?
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, I think it's about time we step back into a little options talk.
Let's get it, baby.
We're going to continue with the technical analysis section of today's lesson. So, technical analysis and stock selection. As I said before, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. If you're not in the right stock, things aren't going to work out the way you want to be, right? You can't force things. You have to go with the flow. So options liquidity is important. Focus on selecting liquid stocks. So I like to sell options premium with the Mag 7, the big boys, everything that is liquid from an options chain perspective. So what we want to do when we're doing our technical analysis and we're going to create a credit spread is identify support and resistance levels. This is absolutely key. This is going to help us select our short strike on the options chain,
Bang.
all right? So again, we want to combine our technicals and short option strike price to increase our chances of profitability. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some charts and we're going to see where we want to potentially sell some options, all right? So moving forward, see what we got here. As you can see, previously before, we have a definitive consolidation phase here on the QQQs. We have a definitive support level around 433. And then we have resistance around 447, all right? So this is telling me, especially after we've had this large move up and a long move up in the market, that maybe the market needs to take somewhat of a breather. So in my mind, what I'm thinking is, have we topped? I'm thinking so. We've had a monster move for a long period of time. We need to take a little bit of breather before we go any higher. So what I decide to do on the options chain, as you can see, we have our definitive resistance level up here at 447. I want to sell a call above that, creating a call, a bear call spread, sorry. So when I create a bear call spread, I'm always going to look at my short call first. So what I do is I sell the 456 call. What is this telling me? That I don't think that price is going to go any higher in a week, because we sell weeklies, than 456. Beautiful. Now, I don't want to sell any naked calls, right? So I'm going to buy my protection 5 points higher, creating a 5-point bear call spread. This is what we like. So as you can see, we have the definitive consolidation phase, a failed breakout right here, and a potential stall in the market. So I build a thesis. We like the 456, 461 bear call spread on the Qs. Moving forward, the same thing on AAPL. As you can see, we've been up and down, and we formed a base around VWAP here. So Apple being a strong stock, we are Apple bulls. We do not think that the stock is going to go any lower. So what I want to do is sell the 170 put.
I love this.
And then buy the 165 put. What this tells me is that Apple is not going to go any lower than 170, and that is my thesis. Sorry, and we're going to stop here because Bitcoin is absolutely buzzing. We like it. We're going to pull up our chart here on IBIT. We're going to look to take a little bit more off, and then we will touch back on our lesson.
Yeah, man, that was I got really into it there, man, because the charts came up. You were talking about ranges, talking about buying these puts, and then you got my attention with Apple too, Joe.
Apple. So that's one of my favorites. It's liquid, it's strong. We like to be bullish on Apple, absolutely.
All right, here we go. CAPR coming into the volume weighted average price. We're going to give it a try here to defend VWAP. Nothing changes with respect to my out, but I do need to adjust my stop because now it is for different size. So
and we're getting filled here on Shreve. Oh, it's squeezing. We're going heavy here on IBIT. It is squeezing, going towards 37 threes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we're going higher. We got Mara going to the top side, making new high of days. We just broke the high of day here on IBIT around 37.15s, which we really like, and we might continue to the top side here, Sharif.
I love it, dude. All right, kill that with Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, what is Mara doing?
Mara is buzzing.
Wow, bro, that $15 level, that was a miss on my part. That was definitely a miss on my part. Oh, it's okay. I told Patty I'd do it. I didn't do it, but that's the way it is.
There's always going to be another one. We know this. There's always going to be another one, brother.
Man, I love that $15 level. Thanks, baby. And thank you. He's like, hey, bro, don't call him. Take him, right? That's the truth. All right, so we're defending CAPR at the volume weighted average price. It breaks through that. We want no more smoke. We'll be out of it. So this is going to be the planned DCA, but it's going to have to hold at VWAP. Otherwise, see ya. Duo, something's going on here. There is likely a hidden seller at 121 or 122 because we've been consolidating for a hot minute despite the fact that the volume's been coming in. And we haven't been bouncing. So keeping my eye on this one. Got in at where am I long? 112, where the players dwell. And we'll look to basically get out in front of a third of a dollar. I'm assuming something happened there in the back because I hear Wayne very excited.
He's let's going.
Yeah.
He's
of
let's
course,
going.
Of course, but
so
we don't say it on the show, right?
He's let's going. So he's got something buzzing. He's buzzing back there. Him and I were talking options the other day, and I almost set up a big options trade. So,
guys,
other than that, Wayner's cheering. He's ready to go. We got Bitcoin squeezing to the top side. We're ready to make new highs, and who knows where this thing's going to go from here. So again, coming into the session, seeing where Bitcoin was opening up, I was extremely bullish on that thing. I'm bullish on that thing most days, just like NVIDIA. But it's breaking out today, so we want to be totally involved. And what we're doing is we're putting up trades on this thing. We're taking the entries. We're taking the setup that we like. As we said before, I'm a VWAP break trader. So if we're getting the breakout around VWAP, Shreve, I want to be involved. I totally want to be involved here, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're involved in this trade, and we're getting the topside moves.
I love it, man. CAPR is doing a dance here, man. The spread opened up wide from 37 to 50. Don't know what's going on here. Don't like it, though, because that's not what I want. I can't be trading a small cap gapper with a 17-penny spread, so we're very close to getting stopped out here. As it broke, number one, the volume-weighted average price. Number two, it is coming into break even. So this isn't what I want. This is not the trade setup, and now I'm out for a loss on here. So bit of a tougher one there. Back to Duo. I'll get that into a second.
Oh, you're buzzing on Duo.
It's not too bad. We broke through that $quarter area, but we got some bills we got to take care of, Joe, because the lights don't stay on in this place for free.
No, sir.
So we're going to do that in a hot second here. Sorry, Ram. I should have been more alive to that. Ram's disappointed in me, but tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're just too slow to the news? If so, Benzinger Pro is your unfair advantage. Get those breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving. And yes, join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinger Pro can transform your trading? If so, visit benzinga.com/pro and get your free 14-day trial. Is that better? Hey, I'm going to troll her. She's like, you're reading it too fast, bro. I'm sorry, Ram.
That's all right. It's okay. That's no problem.
It's been fast. Yeah, sure. My bad. Thank you. Yes, I read that one. Okay. CAPR got me out, Ram, but it looks like it may want to hold VWAP after all. I'm not going to be first to this. If it does want to curl and get off on the back end, as my friend Neil likes to say, we'll get back in. But Joe, you got something to talk about.
Do we ever have something to talk about? We have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is buzzing. It sounds like the narrative of the day. Bitcoin, crypto, we are moving higher, and higher. I don't know how this thing can go to, who knows? We were just talking $250,000. $250,000 by the end of the year? That's what our guy Tom Lee says over at Fundstrat.
Love that guy.
We like Tom Lee. I'm buying anything Tom Lee tells me to buy, essentially. So if he's saying Bitcoin a potential $250,000, hey, guess who's buying more? This guy.
I love it. Yeah. So you're going to add at the quarter, eh?
I want to be in way before that quarter. I want to be enjoying the quarter when we get there. Absolutely.
All right, my main man, Big Smile. Big Smile, Big Style, Big Kyle Burdett. Welcome back, my man. Thank you for joining us again. Big Kyle's taking a couple of days off. So happy to have you back, Big Smile. New phone, who dis? Selling will continue until morale improves. The notes said, take a break and wait. Watch for big gap up and wait into month and quarter and then fade it. Next year's vacation secured. Get down. I know you want me to say it like that. So that's exactly what I was going to do. Shout out to Big Kyle. Thank you for joining us again, my man. We miss you around these parts. Big Smile Burdett. Always keep your eye on his SPY levels, as I would always tell you to keep your eye on Dan the Dang Man Emmons and Q levels. Haven't seen, I think I saw Dan this week. He just made a quick cameo in the chat, super quick, but I think he's been busy these days, so hasn't been as active. Joe, I negated to mention LASE. Let's put some dang respect on this one's name, Ram.
Okay.
And you know, they're advertising on CNBC every day. And let me tell you, I hate war, but the fact of the matter is it exists. And there is a new type of war developing now, Joe, and it's all about drones. And this company is doing anti-drone technology, and I want to know all about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's using.
So we're getting into the defense stocks, here, the defense boys.
Man,
okay.
Look, everybody's rearming again, Joe. It's ugly, but it's a reality. So that's the way it is.
Unfortunately, it is a reality.
So this is a fantastic looking stock here, Ram, LASE. Let me just show you guys the daily on LASE just to get an idea of what it's been doing lately. Yeah, that's what it's been doing lately. So it's up big boy. It started moving, it looks like, you know, end of mid-July. And since mid-July, at the high, it's up about 1,000%. It's not up 1,000% right now. At the highs currently, it's about 700% since July. So this thing's a dang rocket, and it seems to be showing up every day on my scanner with a larger market cap, obviously, right? So good look here for LASE. It's been awfully respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. There is no closing print lower than the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart on the day. So we printed 1483. Looks like we're knocking on the door of 15. Let's do some quick, local charting over here. Yesterday's high takes us to about 17. What is this? There's a bottom here. This is a 14 bottom. So we're kind of in no man's land, man. We got the whole dollar level coming up, but if we clear that 15, then we're really looking possibly at the highs from yesterday into the high 16. So I'm going to just base my trades off this, Joe, off the 10 exponential if I do get back into this. Cool. By the way, CAPR, 2 bottoming tail candles. If it keeps going like this, I'm going long.
Geez. Yeah, so we just got out our last bit of IBIT here. We took that last little bit off here. We're all out of this position. As you can see, we had 2 really nice trades on this ETF, but we have a big question from the chat. From the incredible Mr. Lib. Joseph, do you ever play earnings flush the day after of earnings? All about volatility. Been printing on this strategy for the last year. Absolutely. I love creating options trades after earnings. Why? Because that's peak volatility. As you know, with the earnings announcements, we are always going to get those massive moves either to the downside or to the top side. And with that comes increased options premium. And I really like that. So if we get a massive gap up or a massive gap down, I am going to look to create a bull put spread or a bear call spread on these trades. So depending on the stock, I am absolutely looking to create some options trades with the increase of implied volatility, because the chances of because these moves are so vast and we get such expected moves when the earnings reports comes out, it's hard for the stock to maintain that type of average true range. So therefore, in my opinion, we have peaked from a volatility standpoint. I really like this. And when we peak from a volatility standpoint, that means, Sharif, I'm going to collect as much premium as possible. So shout out for that question, the incredible Mr. Lib. I like that question a lot.
Love it, man.
Thank you.
Love it. I'm going to give Tesla a try here as it's curling back up. I'm going to give it to about 30s or so. So we're going to give this one the old college try, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I saw some good volume coming in, but we'll see. We'll see. The stop's in place. The beak wetter's in place. You know, come what may, here we go. I'm looking at wetting my beak, taking profit on the north side at 255. Whether that manifests or not, an entirely different story. We've been hovering around the 90s here for a hot minute without a 255 break, knowing full well that we did take out this resistance level, not by much. It was this area over here, 254.75. It's not much to talk about there, but we're going to give this one a try. Well, we're already trying. Beautiful. DUO, though, coming down a little bit here. We're $1.17, still higher than where I got in. It got into $1.26, which seems to be now a triple top on the 1 minute. Make of that what you will. Their rejection over here, 1102, another rejection, 1106, and then the latest of the rejections, 1136, and then we weren't able to break that. So I'm going to keep my packing my patience. Here we go on Tesla. Seller at
beautiful.
55s.
Get in there too.
Seller at 55s, Joe. There we go. Are we going to get the print? We get the print, baby. In the money now on Tesla. 2 shorts, 1 long. Let's go again, baby. We're waiting for possibly here the $0.50. I'm going to set up the beak wetter in the low 40s to take advantage of that. Let's see what comes of that. Beautiful. But Tesla on the way up here into the 20 exponential, Joe. So good luck right now as the market finds its footing. So we're moving back up a little bit here on the market. It's not parabolic or anything, Joe, but it's not a bad look, so I'm not going to complain about this. All right, into the high 30s we go. Can we get low 40s? And there we go. Boom. Yes, I'm having a good time today. Can you tell?
Storm.
Having a good time.
It is a snowstorm. Just printing cash, Sharif is over here. And I was looking the absolute same thing. I like how we put in this potential shelf or this bottom here on Tesla. I was looking to get long around 254.50s. I'm not going to chase it. Maybe we get that move back towards VWAP. We're going to see how this stock reacts around VWAP, absolutely. And then maybe we'll get some size in. But I'm going to go back to it. I'm going back to IBIT. We're continuing to move to the top side. How much higher are we going to go? I want to see 38s. I want to see 38s, 39s, 40s back on. IBIT is my largest position in my personal.
I love it, man.
The higher we go, the more Joe likes this, Sharif.
I like the wit, dude. I like the wit. I love it.
The more we like it.
That's so jokes. Yeah. The more it goes up, the more Sharif likes. The more Joe likes. Yes, of course. We want the personal to go up. Big Spile. I will be re-listening to this show for sure. We love you, Big Spile. Thank you. Everyone should be taking in what Joe is saying. He is giving some really good trading ideas and techniques for trading options safely and profitably. You're already getting love, bruh, in the chat there. So we're going to hit the siren for you.
Throw the ones up.
Throw the ones there you go. Throw up the ones for my man, Joe.
And we're having some fun here. So yeah, we're just looking at the overall market here. It seems like we're pulling back a bit. Let me pull up my chart. We'll pull up the Qs here and see what the Qs are up to. See if we start pulling in. Yeah, just like Tesla, we are starting to pull back a little bit towards VWAP. So we'll see if we get any continued strength in the market, and then who knows where it can go from there if we break VWAP. Maybe we go higher. Maybe we reject VWAP and continue to the downside. But we like where this market is sitting at right now. It's healthy pullbacks. We're getting a gap up. We had a massive gap up today on what I don't really know. So expect that to come in. I was looking to put on some trades on NVIDIA, but we just gapped up too much. It's too strong, so we're going to wait for it to pull back in, and then maybe we'll set up some credit spreads, Sharif.
Love it, dude. All right, I'm going to adjust my stop. I got to move it up a little bit here on DUO, so we're going to give this one, I don't know. It's kind of a random area with which to have it, but we're going to have it anyway there to defend the entry on Duo. I don't like how this has a $1.25, a $1.26 shelf. But SOS, your point, very, very well taken. CAPR, it bamboozled me, dude. Look, I tried. I gave it the old college try. I got in at VWAP. I defended the closing print, but look at the wicks. You know, the wicks are going to stop you out, and you can't predict where the wicks are going to be. I wonder if there's a software that will sell upon the closing of the candle rather than on a wick. So, for example, say I had an order out here for a stop, Joe, at 10:30, right? And then if the candle closes below 10:30, then it sells. If it closes above 10:30, it doesn't sell. Does that make any sense?
You know what? I don't know if there's anything.
I don't know if there's anything like that either. I don't even know if that's
our guy Wayner back there might know for sure. Absolutely.
I'll check with him. I'll check with him. But yeah, the wick got me in trouble here on CAPR, and that was the look. I mean, all the closing prints, as you can see, you don't have to be a chartered market technician to see that all the closing prints are above the volume weighted average price, but the wicks are what got me in trouble. Now, how I could have got around that is by perhaps putting a new order above this doji candle here, because we know doji candles are candles of indecision. In addition to that, its body closed above VWAP. Then this candle, same business, got below, but body closed above VWAP. So I could have set up an order for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high above the previous 5-minute candle to go long. You know, some people try that, but I find that I've had varying success with that strategy, so I'll just kind of leave that there. I don't know who was in the chat. Somebody was saying that LASE is on its last leg. I mean, the top's in. Okay, maybe you're right, but I'd like proof first, and proof comes vis-a-vis at a 10 exponential break. We still haven't even got that. So I'm just going to pack my patience. I don't need to be first to the party here for LASE, but it's been awfully directional, and it's not a one-day play. It's a holdover for like months now. And I don't know, I think they've got some cash in their pocket because, quite frankly, they've been buying a lot of advertising on CNBC in the morning. And that's kind of how it's like, Lace? I was like, I just traded Lace yesterday. They're advertising on CNBC. Interesting, okay. So they'll have to throw some of that advertising money this way, baby, if they really want to blow up. So yeah, Lace, let's go. Let's bring it this way, baby.
Let's bring it this way. We got Mara making new highs of the day. We got Bitcoin kind of consolidating a little bit, but Mara, new highs of the day, so we like that. BPI is probably pinning a storm back there. Oh, no, he's not here. That's okay. He's taking a break. He's making too much money on this thing, so he needs to take a little bit of a breather.
He's getting a gym membership, baby.
Oh, yeah, the Y. I think they're going to the Y. All the boys will be going to the Y shortly, and that's it. So we're still going higher and higher and higher. We have this massive breakout on the daily in Mara, so we like to see those things. When stocks are breaking out, we want to see this relative strength in the stocks. When you're breaking out, we want to see a lot of volume, clean flushes on the ask, and that continuous strength on the time and sales in Mara.
Yes, Jay, I did catch the Gunners yesterday. That's my team, baby. That's my team. We won 5-1. And I got to give them credit, the other team, because they had a hell of a goal. But I got to really give our team even more credit because we had a lot of youngsters on there, a lot of academy players initially anyway, until they got subbed off. And I was very impressed with what I saw from the academy players. And those are obviously the future of the club. So I love that. Obviously, Liverpool had a fantastic game as well, despite the fact that they played a team a man down, you know. So when they win 5-1, it's not as good. Where is he? Oh, he's not listening. It's okay. Yeah. Neil's a Liverpool fan.
Oh, he's a Liverpool?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't say that I'm a big soccer guy, but when when I did used to play a lot of FIFA, Mario Balotelli and Chelsea were my guys. I was a big Chelsea fan. I liked everything about Chelsea. I can't remember all the guys' names, but if I was playing FIFA back in the day, Chelsea was my team, and I was using Mario Balotelli absolutely to light it up.
Easy OG. Balotelli is like, he's definitely the player there. But I don't think he ever played for Chelsea, homie.
Did he not play?
No, he played for City and Liverpool.
Oh, I thought he played for Chelsea.
No. He played for City. Baby blue. One's dark blue, one's navy blue, one's baby blue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm getting mixed up. I thought Balotelli played for Chelsea. See, that shows you how much I know.
It's all good. It's all good. But you know Balo is, man. He's an OG.
So shout out Italy there. He is Italian. I'm getting this right. He is Italian, right?
He is.
Are you sure he did play for Chelsea?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% unless he was there for a hot minute, like a quick minute. Double check, though. But I'm pretty sure he played for Liverpool and City, and then he went over to Italy. I think he played for Inter a bit. We'll see. All right, Gorev, I'm sorry, my man, because I saw you tagging me multiple times in the chat today with respect to Baba. Here it is. Baba is a dang rocket. Look at this, Ram. It's breaking through that 104.80 area. It's been awfully respectful of the 10 exponential. Let's bring in the side chart over here, and we're going to change Poet, and we're going to put in Baba. Did he actually play for Chelsea?
I'm trying to find it.
Just ask GPT or something. Here it is, guys. Wow, what a move up for Baba over here, man. This took out the top. There was some resistance, guys, at 104. You could even make the argument that we had a double top at 104. We sell off. We've been look at this, very respectful of the 50 into the deeper retracements. We've been seeing the 50 exponential, for whatever reason, feature more, at least on the 5-minute chart. That's something I'm picking up on lately, okay? The 50 exponential, which is the red line on my black charts over here, has been featuring a bit more lately. Now we are weaseling up into that 105 area. We're only 14 pennies away, 104.86. Baba and the rest of these dang Chinese ADRs are rockets on the day. A lot of them in double-digit territory, and most of them in high single-digit territory. So lots to talk about there. If you don't know why, the Chinese government is basically pumping money to the tune of 2 billion yuan. 2 billion? No, it's more, Katina. It's 2 trillion yuan. Yes, 2 trillion yuan, about 286 billion US dollars. A trilly is going to be for Yeah, thank you, Katina Man. Katina Man confirming that. 300 billion US. Thank you, Katina, man. So a billion or trillion of that is going to be in basically stimmies to stimulate the economy, and another trillion of that is going to be to get a lot of these municipal governments out of trouble. A lot of them are carrying a lot of debt, and it seems to be hurting the property sector. So lots of cash injections there, and the market loves that, man.
They love it. They love it. So I was wrong. Mario Balotelli did not play for Chelsea. It was Didier Drogba.
Yo,
Didier Drogba
my man Didier.
Didier Drogba was my guy. I am a hockey guy, a fight guy, UFC, big guy. So it shows you just how much I know. I haven't played FIFA since probably 09.
I can vouch for that. Joe knows his boxing, baby.
So we like the fight game and we like the Leafs. Unfortunately, we're out to an 0-2 start. An absolute banger to the preseason with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But again, on to the stock market. We have Mara consolidating near these highs here, not doing anything spectacular. We kind of got the market stalling a little bit. We had that morning volatility. So maybe we're going to slow down. We are getting around that lunch time hour, so everybody on Wall Street's out to lunch, and we. It's not like they're always out to lunch. It seems. Who knows? But we're stalling here. We're slowly grinding towards VWAP. I think that maybe once we touch VWAP, it may act as some possible resistance, and maybe we continue to the downside. Who knows? This market is absolutely strong. We can go higher on any given day. We don't need much to light the fire on this market because everybody is excited. We might be in a long-term bull market, so a lot of people are liking that. That's for sure, Sharif.
You're getting a lot of love, man. Drogba, the legend. Look, man, Drogba is a legend. And despite the fact that he played for a team, contrary to mine, obviously they're both London teams. One's West London, one's North London. Shout out North London. You got to put some respect on that man's name. He won it all. He won the Prem. He won the Champions League. He obviously didn't win FIFA World Cup. He plays for Cote d'Ivoire. He's obviously from the Ivory Coast. But, yeah, and, obviously now he's a living legend. So we're going to shout out Didier.
Beautiful.
But, he's not an Arsenal player or anything.
No. So we're in some cues here. We like the cues as we're going higher. We're gonna get our beaks wet. We're gonna dip our toes in the water a little bit here on the cues and see if we get that push towards VWAP. I'm not expecting too much of a crazy pullback. As you can see from a volume profile standpoint, we are decreasing on the volume side. So expect things to be a little bit grindy. You have to give the trades a little bit more room here. During these hours. It is not a momentum play, so you're not going to get those crazy up thrusts or down thrusts like we see in the opening session. So here, we're going to let this grind out. We like the cues. We like the overall market, so we're going to take it long here.
I love your analysis here, Joe, because the market is putting in that curl, and it's moving up aggressively. Let's have a look at the NQ December contract. Look at this. I think Adara would call this the umbrella pattern. I would say possibly a hockey stick pattern kind of look, but there you go. Breaking away from that hockey stick, Joe, because we're moving to the high side. So unless you play, field hockey where the sticks are curled a little bit at the end, right? We're moving up. I'm assuming, at least we get into the volume weighted average price. That's at 20,377 or 80, depending on where your VWAP starts on the day. And I just want to take this opportunity to tell you that the volume weighted average price may not be the same on everybody's charts, but usually they're close. Why is that? It depends on the time that the VWAP started populating. My VWAP starts populating at 4 a.m. The charts on P-Pro 8, Neil, what is it, 637, something like that?
Still doing that.
637, says Neil, give or take. So the data that P-Pro 8 has, it's not like it's lacking data. It just starts populating the data at 630 in any event. So I could have, Joe could have his VWAP 10 cents lower than mine. Mine could be 10 cents higher. So I just want to make that point. So if I say 20,000, 377, 380, it's generally that area. It depends on when you're populating, Joe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, shout out Zero Gravity Zen, showing some love there in the chat. We appreciate that a lot. We like to talk too. We enjoy being on the show with the boys here. It's always a good time. These guys are punching keys. These guys are printing numbers. So it's always fun to be up here with these guys. We're in cues. As you can see, it's starting to slowly work out. We can see the strength within the tape here. We don't have too many crazy bids hitting to the downside. We see a lot of relative strength here, and we like that a lot. So as we continue higher, we're going to look to possibly add at the break of VWAP. If we decide to squeeze, we really like this. We have a potential bottom here. So again, hey, who knows how high we can go? That's going to be my Bitcoin, and how high we can go is my narrative of the day, because we never know. anything can happen. And as I said before, it doesn't take much for this market to get a fire under it, right? We can squeeze on almost nothing news. So we like that a lot.
True.
And we are going to continue in this trade on the Qs. Sharif.
Love it, man. I'm looking at Lace here. So whoever called out the top, possibly on Lace, kudos to you because you might be right. Here we go. What? Say it again. Lace, I see. I'm so silly. Because there's a lot of lace with Victoria's Secret. I get it. No, but this one is laser, Fabian. I love it. He's got the keys on right in front of him there. All right. This one did a bit of a bigger dip here. LASE coming into 14. It was 14.83. That's an ugly red candle on the 5-minute. This opened up, guys. Wow, more bleeding on Lace. This opened up 14.68. The low is now 14.01 on this candle, and we just actually broke into 13.91. Buyers, though, stepping in, bringing this one above 14 again, but that is a bit of a tougher look. Or is it an opportunity to get in? And that's the question now. So we're going to take off Baba for a hot second, load up Lace, which I believe is on the NASDAQ. It is. Oh, God, that's ugly. What is this? 24 penny spread on a $14 name? No, thank you. You can hang on to it. I'm not touching this, Joe.
We're not touching that. We're not touching this one.
What, 24 pennies on a $14 name?
That's too much.
What is this, bro?
That's too much for our liking. So yeah, in the chat, guys, if you guys have any questions for me on options, throw them in the chat. I'll see them, Sharif will see them, and he'll send them my way. So throw those questions my way. We're going to get those questions answered, and we're going to dive deeper later into the session on what we're going through with the options credit spreads. So looking here, we got the Qs pulling back slightly a little bit, just under VWAP as expected. So if we break VWAP here, I can see some continued strength going in the overall market. So let's see if we get that break towards VWAP. We got IBIT pulling back a little bit. And Mara is still making new highs. It's grinding. The miners are grinding. So we're looking there, and let's see what the Qs can do, Sharif.
All right. Somebody was just telling me something there. Cat, huge today. Ajota says, all right, we're going to have a look at Caterpillar in a hot second, but I want to look at LASE again because now we're at VWAP, guys. Where is the spread? No, it's still ridiculous. It's still 28 pennies. 90 on the ask, 62 on the bid. It's at the area that I love. I like VWAP retracements, especially on a stock that clearly is being bought up by, I don't want to say institutions, but clearly people are bullish on the stock. It's been running up since July. So VWAP is always a gauge for big money to assess their traders about how well they did on the day. So if I'm big money and I tell you, hey, I tell all my traders, hey, go get me at 10,000 shares of Lace. How do I judge my trader on how well they did or didn't do on the day? Well, I can basically look at their average price end of day, compare it to the volume weighted average price. If you have a better price than VWAP, you get that A star beside your name. That's why VWAP features when it comes to this big money accumulation, let's call it that. So it's at a level that I like, but the spread that I don't like. And I can't really get around this because just by getting in, I could get cut up 20, 25 cents a share just for getting in and out almost at the same time. So we'll talk more about that, and hopefully Lace will have decided what it wants to do when we get back from the hotline dropper himself. It is Neil's lesson of the day.
Sharif, lesson of the day brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health by making its FDA-cleared brain networks analytics technology available to medical professionals in support of providing better outcomes for patients with brain health disorders and illnesses like depression, dementia, anxiety, concussion, and ADHD. The company's proprietary technology is built on extensive research and the world's largest standardized database of over 17,000 patients across 12 disorders, including clinically normal people. Shout out to Firefly Neurosciences for brain health. And, that's obviously good. As a trader, you want to keep your mental strong, and oftentimes that will mean limiting the damage. The market was euphoric after market, and this morning, after Micron's beat across the board, the guide was good, everything was gapping up, China stocks were up, all of tech was pretty much to the upside. You were 1.5 on the NASDAQ. Everything was just flying. And as a matter of fact, Micron was 16, 17% in the pre-market. Now, often you'll see us do something when a stock is gapping up and you look for the old dip and rip. Like sometimes you have things set up for a breakout. Other times you like longs for a dip and rip. So the question becomes, if you like a support level for a dip on a stock that's gapping or just in a trend to the upside, when do you not want to buy that price? That's the key thing, because it's all well and good to say when we're prepping in the morning, oh, I like this stock at that level, like that stock at this level. Maybe you get it once or twice there. But what does it look like when you give that up? Because that's an important thing, especially on a day like today, where if you didn't have that point, you could find yourselves in a world of hurt. So it's going to go through sort of the way I look at these things and give you an idea of when you like a dip buy in a stock, where you might give up on it. So I'm going to start with Micron because it was the big gapper. Now, obviously, you're going to see where I traded it here, but just to simplify, pre-market, you had a 111 bottom. My over-under was 110. And, where did I come up with 110? I mean, there's nothing creative about it. You just go back to the daily chart, prior resistance at 110. You go even back a little bit further and resistance at 111. So you've got those two levels out there on the daily. Right off the bat at the open, it's a false breakout. So you're still within the range that I don't mind a retest of the low and a bounce. But in the back of my mind, it's a false break, which is a pretty bearish setup. You get a pretty big candle to the downside. Take the first bounce. Okay, why do we like it? Well, it bounces off of the 111, which I like, so I allowed it because it's a false breakout, not sitting on the bid on the way down, right? Like that's going to be my plan of action. That's a bearish setup, so I'm going to take it not falling knife style, but trying to catch it on the rebound, which is what we did. Played into VWAP, it comes right back in, temporarily bounced off the low. So it temporarily bounced off the low, I get back in, it stops me out. But you know what? Not a bad stop out. It broke my level, so I get out, but it keeps on going higher. It actually starts making some higher lows. So at this point, I'm still liking the long. There's nothing wrong with it. I played off of VWAP, not a very well-timed entry, and then I might have had a chance to re-enter here, but wasn't really feeling it. The market was weak. I'm like, well, let's see what happens when we get to our level. But what happened when we got to our level was the manner in which we're dropping into it. It's one thing when you get that rubber band action at the open, and you're like, okay, quick up and down. No, but when you do this little trend down into it, that's where I want to see how it reacts to the level. Can we consolidate? Can we put in a higher low? As you can see, it never did that. The other thing it's done here is you've broken the trend. Like if I draw a trend line on it, like this, or even draw one there, like you've broken the trend line down. You've got to show me something for some rebound to the upside, because now you've got multiple strikes against it. You've got a false breakout. You also have a trend break going into your support level. So I'm just not liking it until it bounces and shows me a resumption of an upward trend over there. And I'll get to Apple in a second, why that was different, but we'll go over to NVIDIA in the same light. NVIDIA, very similar story, actually looked better. So NVIDIA, there's your dip off the pre-market lows. First one good. Second time, VWAP, okay. Then off the lows, again looking good. But this is where it gets into trouble. And you would have heard me, when it's retesting this 126, you don't see me long there the third time. You don't see me long there the fourth time either. Because at that point, remember the strikes that I had against, that we had against Micron. False breakout at the open, then back in. Well, okay, NVIDIA did that, but then it broke the high. So it's right back in the good books. But then what happens when we got that first long? It trailed out the 127.5, lower high. So now you have like a mini head and shoulders going on with that lower high. We dip back into the long. Can it break out that 127 lower high? Answer is no. So it doesn't break it, and then we get another lower high back into the retest. So now all of a sudden, I've got multiple false breakouts, and I needed to resume the upward trend before we take that long. So no entry there, trying to be patient with it, no entry there. And eventually we hang on to the last little piece for the dream, and that's just a stop out. Like we're not waiting to get that reload when it just doesn't set up. So you want to be able to limit the damage. Now, it's easy enough to say, okay, well then why aren't you short here? Well, I didn't know SMCI was going to have a short seller report. So, that's That's the answer to that question. That's the other thing that happened here as we're talking about it. But ultimately, you've got to find a way to limit the damage. When you're bullish on something, it's showing you the confirmation that you want to resume the upward trend. But sometimes that happens. Now, when you look at the difference between today and yesterday on it, your dips, upper trend, if it's going to go and start trending to the upside, there's going to be ways to get in it when it goes $4 or $5. So it's not as if you always need to have the 26. You're going to be able to pick up VWAP. You're able to get that trend up. And Apple's the example I want to use here. I'm not in it anymore. We did have a trade off VWAP. That was okay. But Apple, in the same moment, dips down, breaks underneath its close price, and then see what it did. Higher low, higher low, higher low, flat top break. Just different. And so it was easy enough to say, hey, we don't need to be just going long NVIDIA because it happens to be showing us this level bouncing when the trend is clearly going in the other direction. We should find something different. And Apple was it. Apple was making the higher lows. Sometimes you've got to jump away from what has been a good idea when it's no longer setting up for you. You're supposed to trade your setup in your trading plan. And the trading plan can't always involve, I like a number, I like a level, I'm going to go long no matter what's happening in the moment that it gets to that price. Because sometimes when it gets to that price, it's showing you that it's not good. And if you have the signs in there that you're supposed to be listening to tell you that it's not good, then you want to listen to those. It's an important way to trade. I'll give you, just for context in here, to show you another reason why Apple is going to be strong. And I alluded to this, of course, anyone paying attention knows what happened on SMCI. This is another reason why I didn't know this was going to happen. Otherwise, hey, if you knew this was going to happen, you would have reversed some of those that don't look like reloads on the longs in the chip space. It is what it is. SMCI dumps, but in the midst of the dump on SMCI at 11 o'clock, you just look at something like an Apple at 11 o'clock and it bounced. So this is it at those lows. At the last halt, it's bouncing. This is why I wanted to try 227 again, and I actually might take it again if it does like a nice little rounded bottom setup. Apple, distinctly different. And the other thing that you should do, if you still like some longs and they're dumping like this, last thing, because you got to be patient, draw back. And what draw back means is you might like a level earlier, but when the market's tanking, just move on to the next trade. You heard me say that, Intel's trying to trend up. There's a bottom. There's a higher low. No continuation of trend over 24. I liked 24. We liked it above 24. It just couldn't go, and it never resumed the trend. So when that doesn't set up for you, what's the next available opportunity? That 23.30 from yesterday. So you go right back over to that, wait for it to get there. Okay, it's trying to bounce. Nope, that's not the level. This is the level. And when the market is a falling knife, the preferred entry for me is a false bottom break. It's let it break the level and take it on the way back up. If the market is strong, then you don't mind buying into a dip. But when the market is weak, sometimes you got to let it run the stops. Be patient. Be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. That's how on a day like today you can stay green. Because ultimately, you can go in with a long bias, and you can come out of it on a day like today with a solid day or at least a preservation of capital. That's important. Sometimes you've got to be able to not have the direction right and still be able to come out okay as a trader. And listen to those signs that the trend is not going with you at your key price level. You're never going to ignore your key price level, but sometimes you can decide not to take a trade there. That was an example on Micron, an example on NVIDIA, and an example of why Apple set up in here, why Intel set up at that bottom, because it showed patience and you waited for some true confirmation. So everyone out there, good luck with the trading the rest of your day. Always trade with stops. I mean, I saw what SMCI did, and always have a trading plan and try to stick to it. That's your lesson of the day.
Thank you very much, Neil. Informative, eloquent, and just all around awesome as always. Neil Roberts, everybody, around that noon o'clock noon time. He drops hot lines with his lesson of the day. So if you like what you heard, join us every day around that time. Thank you very much again, Neil.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Joe?
We're doing great. We have some questions in the chat here, some options questions, which we really like. So from Less Heart, More Money, Joseph, what is the best expiration date for day trading options? Well, if you're day trading options, my suggestion to you would be choose weeklies. Don't go 0 DTE, right? Because now you're going to get the implied volatility going crazy on the 0 DTE options. You don't want that. Give yourself a little leeway room. 0 DTE is a different world than options trading, all right? So we don't want to make things too complex. If you like the heart racing and you like going after that extreme momentum, then DTE might be for you. But if you want to be more conservative and trade options kind of like an equity standpoint, then choose weeklies. Also, it depends, not from just a day trading perspective. Choosing your expiration is really key in what option strategy you're implying. So for me, with credit spreads, I like weeklies, right? If you're doing other types of options, people like option strategies, people like monthlies, people like 2 months out. It depends what you're employing, but that's a really good question. What is the best expiration? Sharif?
Yes, sir. We're going to give a bit of a try here on Mara as it dipped in to the 10 exponential on the 5. A big retracement, quite frankly, off 18 and a quarter down into 17.90. Not going to give this one a lot of room, but I want to participate on this if it wants to hold up at the 10 exponential. I see you, Benton. I see you. SMCI, Joe and I were talking about it while Neil was dropping said hot lines, and we were talking about how it was giving you dollars at a time to the downside. Funny how things change. SMCI is now halted to the upside, guys.
Oh, wow.
Halted 397.81 to the upside south of $400. The buy-in was coming in fast and furious there. 2 green candles on the 5 is all that took for this bad boy to get halted, but the bleeding is real. It is fast and furious. It's down still, even though it's an up halt 13.17% with having done 15 million shares on the day. In case you're just joining Joe and I on the show, it is moving down as a result of a Wall Street Journal headline coming in and saying that the Department of Justice looking to investigate fraudulent accounting practices by the company. Recall that in August, we got the Hindenburg hit piece alleging basically just that. So we're going to have to wait and see what manifests from that. But when we got that Hindenburg hit piece, we also had a pretty much an aggressive sell-off at that time as well. But as you can see, it got bought up with like all the chip stocks because it's just a dang rocket. So
it's buzzing. It's buzzing. And we got one more question that I really like here.
Go.
So, Joseph, does he sell covered calls on his long-term holding stocks? I find this a great way to make money. Yeah, no, it's a valid point. I do not, though. I do not sell covered calls. But what we did hear earlier in the week is that IBIT is going to be optionable. So IBIT being my largest position in my long-term account, I will be selling calls on that. But the thing is, Sharif, I don't want to get assigned because I don't want to lose the shares, and I have a really good price. So I don't want to give those up, right? So I will sell some covered calls on that IBIT position, but I'm going to sell them so far out the money that those shares won't get assigned and taken away. Sharif.
all right, just checking Cineplex for my man, Fabian. All right, Fabian, it is trading at 1066 or so. Give or take. I can't really, let me add it to the side view here. For whatever reason, CGX, this trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange, Fabian. So yeah, around 1066 or so. I don't have data for the Toronto Stock Exchange because, well, it's the Toronto Stock Exchange. So no disrespect, but you know, hey, I'm from Toronto. I can say it, right? It's like down the road too. Like I feel bad. But anyway, look, if you like mining and you like banks, and you like oil, Toronto Stock Exchange is for you. That's all I gotta say.
That's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
That's it. We had Mara making new highs of the day earlier, not too long ago, but then it started to pull back in. Maybe it's gonna pull back in towards VWAP. Let me pull up the chart here for you guys. We were, as Sharif and I were talking, as SMCI was tanking still, Mara was making new highs, but now it's the total opposite. SMCI is halting to the top side, and Mara is coming down in towards VWAP. So again, we got this beautiful daily breakout on Mara. We're still halted on SMCI.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what these guys do. If we continue to the top side, maybe SMCI recovers a little bit. But again, it's a negative catalyst. We were speaking, once the DOJ is involved, it's not looking too pretty for you. Bro. So where it's going to go from here, I don't know. But yes, we like Mara, we like Bitcoin, and let's see what SMCI is up to, Sharif.
Speaking of Mara, I got pushed out of that, guys. I tried a 10 exponential retracement on the 5-minute look. No go. It doesn't respect that level. I'm still very bullish on the name on the day, assuming it doesn't continue to tank. So let's just update the price action here by scrolling up. Where's my Bitcoin or the crypto? There we go. So 17, generally 17 and 3/4. It's a no man's land for me here. It's in between the two moving averages, the 10 and the 20. It's also not at a key area of support. I want to see initially what it does at 1760. We had a bit of action there, but that's not really the level. We only spent about 10 minutes there. The real level, in my humble opinion, is 1740 to 1750. Look at this area crest where we kind of do a rounded top, sell off into the 50. So I'm thinking, you know, whatever seller was there, 1740, 1750, if we get back into that area, we know sometimes resistance flips to support. We'll see if that's the case this time, though. It's going to have to continue down. So my first levels, I'm looking at the 20 exponential. The 20 exponential kind of coincides with this area hold up here at 1760. So that's the first level I'll be looking at. I won't be getting in just because it retraces. I need proof that it's going to hold up there. That level doesn't hold. I'm looking at 1740 for this area top over here on MARA. What a dang rocket, though, on Mara. Wow. Let's see what else is moving here. I forgot to mention the...
Well, it's not halted anymore. SMCI is on the move here.
Yes, absolutely. Let's pull up SMCI. Where is it at? Oh, I think I took it off for our friend Baba. Let's remove that. Baba on the way down to 105. I think I might want to trade here off Baba, possibly at 105. I'd rather wait for the 10 exponential, but we'll look at that in a second. It is defending 105, though. Alibaba's up over 10% at the moment. Here, no, that's not it. Where is my SMCI chart? There it is. Okay, we got into 400, and as quick as we got to 400, as quick as we are now down to 393, I don't know. I think this is too rich for my blood, man. This is just a dangerous trade. It could go either way, really, I feel. I don't know, Joe. I don't know, Joe. It ain't for me, bro.
We're not going to speculate on this, right? We want to wait for our setup. We want to wait for the right time to get into the trade. We don't want to rush anything at all. Again, throw your questions in the chat for options. But as we look here on IBIT, we're starting to consolidate a little bit. The thing is strong. So if we get this consolidation, there's still a lot of time in the day. So if we consolidate a bit, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing decides to make some new highs. So we'll wait for IBIT. If it comes in a little bit, if we chop around a little bit in this area, we like it. And if we start to break to the top side, we're going to enter again, because when things are working, they continue to work. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going until it doesn't work. We're going to mitigate our downside as always, and we're not going to limit our top side. So unlike credit spreads, we don't have a limit on our top side, Sharif.
Yes, absolutely. Just putting in my stop here on Baba, Alibaba that is. We're going to give this one a try. Where are we along? 88's lucky number 88, I guess. We're going to look to defend that 104.60 level. Lots of lots of defend or support at this level initially. Over here on our way up on Alibaba. It's been very directional, but it's now at the 10 exponential moving average. And, you know, that really, we'll see if this one features or not, but we're already out of the money on this one. So this one is coming down. We get stopped out. That's all right. We'll look to get back in if it does hold up. It's at the 10 exponential right now. There is, like I was saying, some support at 104.60 over here. Let's see if this one area wants to hold up. We're going to give that one a try as well. 104, and then we'll go like that. All right, so we're 10 pennies in the money right now. Let's look to wet our beak possibly into the mid 80s if it does hold up in and around there. Alibaba at the 10 exponential, there is support at 104.60, but if it gives way, I want no more smoke on Alibaba. It's going to have to hold up at these levels, Joe.
Perfect, perfect. So we're looking at AMD here and what the semis are up. So let me pull up AMD on my chart here. and see what these semis are up to. We are starting to come down a little bit. Maybe we make another leg to the downside. So maybe we join this trend because we don't want to fight trends. We're going to join the trend. We are a little bit deviated from VWAP there, so it's not exactly what we want, but what we are going to do is if we break this support level around 165 and we hold it without squeezing to the top side, I wouldn't be surprised if we fill this daily gap here, come in and around around 162, 163s. That wouldn't surprise me. So if we break this 165 area, maybe I'll look to join the trend here, Sharif.
All right, still holding above that 104.60 for now on Alibaba, but this has been one hell of a down move. 2 red candles there off that 105.55 high of day on Alibaba. Let's keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye generally on these Chinese ADRs as they're awfully strong. The best of the best today in Chinese ADR world is Bilibili, up 14.65%. Second is JD.com. Third is PDD. Where have we been seeing PDD lately? PDD has been in the news a lot. Obviously had a fantastic year. Then we heard about who was this that was selling PDD's not P. Diddy, no. I wouldn't be talking about it.
It wasn't P. Diddy.
Who was selling PDD? Neil, do you guys remember? Who's selling their shares of PDD? Somebody big was selling their shares of PDD. Remind me, the chat can fact check us on that. Just remind me, guys, who was offloading their shares or their ownership of PDD there, because there was somebody bigger, I think like a month ago or something like that, that was selling. So yeah, let me know about that. Mara says Sunstar, it's holding up a little bit, but you know, let's see on Mara. I mean, like, it's a good look right here. I do like it. You like it there, eh?
I like it there.
Yeah, all right, man. Let's
see.
Yeah, let's give this one a try. We're gonna go long again on this one here. We'll give this one a quick try. Hopefully it's not a dead cat bounce and then a drop back in. So we'll go look there. But Baba is getting in trouble here, so I'm gonna have to get out of Baba again, and I do get stopped out 0 for 2 now on Baba. Gonna leave this one alone until it sets up a little bit differently because it's not showing any respect to the 10 exponential on the 5. So I'm gonna steer clear of that one. Let's keep an eye here on Mara.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, just going back to the Chinese ADR.
Walmart,
Baba.
thank you.
Baba moving exponentially higher here in the past week session. So we like Baba. It is on the NY. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with these ADRs. They have been absolutely depleted over the past couple years. The Baba CEO, he just went missing for a while, so we don't know what happened with that. So that's why it's scary. It's always scary when the CEO of a company goes missing and you don't know what he's doing. So I think he was head out in Japan for a little bit, so we don't know what he's doing, but we like Baba over the past couple of days. Is it a little bit extended? We don't know, but regardless, we're still going to play the price action. If it's moving to the top side, we're going to look for the top side moves. We're not going to fight the trend, especially when the government is cutting basis points on the interest rates, right?
Right.
So that is boosting the economy, something that they needed. They've been lagging since COVID. Can't believe it's almost been 5 years, and the economy is still trying to recover from COVID. So is this stimulus going to help them? It looks like it. So far, the ADRs have been booming. KWEB, the Chinese internet ETF, has been trading to the top side as well. So we like that. We like the Chinese ADRs as long as they continue to the top side, Sharif.
Top side? All right. Let's see what happens here on Baba, waiting in the mid-90s. It's up a little bit over here, but Mara's the one that's zigging and zagging over here, so I'm a little unsure about this one. So we're going to pack our patience with both of these. Go, Baba, you punk.
Ooh,
come on, baby.
Let's go.
Nice, Alibaba. Okay, wet my beak there, nicely there for a 20-penny winner. Let's see if we can move up a little bit more here. We know that it's a 105.55 HOD, high of day on Alibaba, but that's all predicated about it clearing 105 again, because, you know, these whole dollar values tend to act as areas of support and resistance, so we're going to pack our patience here on it. 1 for 3 on it now, which is okay. So we'll look to do a little bit better. Now I'm concerned about Mara. So I have to see here if I want to defend Mara or I want to let this one go, because I know that it bamboozles people sometimes. So I'm going to think about this one over here, thinking that the low of the candle at 12:15, the 5-minute candle at 12:15, has a low of 1772. I don't want any print south of 1772. If I'm considering this the area trough, then my trade is no longer valid if we don't hold up above this area trough. So 1772, 1770, that's kind of my line in the sand there. Let's keeping an eye on Alibaba, looking for a possible 105 break. We're long 71s. We're zigging and zagging here in the 80s. So not a whole lot to talk about. Haven't been keeping an eye though, guys, to be honest with you, on a lot of the Mag 7 names. I kind of got, I digressed into other things, but have you been keeping an eye on the Mag 7? What are they doing?
I got my eyes on AMD right now. As we were talking about earlier, if we get this level break, I'm going to look to join the trend. So I had a signal that says, hey, Joe, if you're going to plan the trade, enter it. So now we've entered the trade. Let's see how this works out. If we break this 164 level, 164.80, I think there's more downside here on the semis. Other than that, I don't know what Tesla's kind of consolidating a little bit, but here we're getting the breakdown on AMD, and this is exactly what we want. If the trade doesn't start to work immediately, then I would be a little bit cautious. But as you can see, we haven't been in this trade for very long, and we're getting the move that we expected. We don't hold on to losers, but what we're going to try to do is hold on to the winner here, especially if we break this level. This is a key level. As you can see, we have support around 164.50s here now, and if that breaks and the market decides to join, there can be potentially more downside in the markets.
And I like that because people are talking about IBIT and the fact that there's no options yet on it, but shouldn't there be?
Soon.
Yes, I know. BlackRock did announce that there's going to be options on it.
Yeah.
Michel Hebert, the OG in the chat, he loves his GameStop, he loves his Bitcoin. He brought up a really good point, MSTR, MicroStrategies, and now it's post-split too. So it's not, that $1,600 stock. It's got options. So if you want to play something like that, you can go do it through MSTR. Shout out to Michel Hebert. Reliable Rudy, we miss you, brother. It's perfect time for you to join us. I don't know if you saw Solar Edge got an upgrade today. I know you're all about Enphase, but that group is looking a lot better lately, Reliable. He says, if you're trading, but you're looking at trade, I don't know what that means. You're trading, but if you're looking at trading a miner, my opinion, Wolf is the name that outperforms long-term because of infrastructure. Thank you for that, Reliable. Let's bring in the side chart over here and have a look at Wolf, W-U-L-F. Here it is. What is this called? TerraView? TerraView. Ram, or Chilean Nightmare, whoever. There it is.
We're getting the breakdown here on AMD, Sharif.
Uh-oh.
Continue.
I saw Neil throw that in the chat too, so good luck for both of you guys. Let me just go look quickly here at the daily on Wolf. Yeah, obviously, we're not at the COVID levels, but we've done a good job of recovering a little bit. Thank you for that, Reliable. I never had Wolf on my mining watch list. It's going to go on here, so I can't really give you much in the way of analysis on it because it's the first time looking at it now. But yeah, thank you for throwing that on there. I know. Okay. Thank you, Reliable. I'm old, right? So I don't know what I'm talking about with these acronyms. You're gonna have to forgive me there, man. All right, I'm gonna send it back to Joe, but I should tell you that Mara's on the way up again. And where do we have our beak wetter at 98s? We're printing 95s now. I'd like to print on this one. I'm 0 for 1 on it already.
Ooh, that's all right. That's all right. You've put on some banger trades today. So again, with trading, we all know that you're not gonna win all of them. So when we do win, we wanna make sure those are going to be the big ones. But I want to give a shout out to Brad Does Real Estate. Thanks for showing the love, brother. We appreciate that. And as you can see on our NVIDIA trade, our AMD trade, we are kind of holding these lows. That's not exactly what I want to see. We're rejecting the breakdown. So could this mean a potential squeeze a little bit higher and then we make another move when it's grabbed enough liquidity to continue to the downside? So let's see if we can get this continued weakness in AMD. If we do, that will be fantastic. If not, we punch out early and we wait for another entry because we don't want to hold on to things that aren't working. That is the key to trading. So as we sit here and watch, unfortunately it's pulling back here. So that tells me that it's rejecting this bottom break. And that's okay because what it might do, as I was stating before, is that it might pull back a little bit more. We pull up into the 66s, maybe 165.50, and then we continue to the downside. And if we get the confluence within the market and we continue to the downside, then yeah, let's continue. We like this trade. So let's see if we get that breakdown. We had the big gap up in the market today. We've almost filled the gap, as you can see. We got a little bit more to go to the downside. There's no extreme volume. We're in those lunchtime hours, so everything's a little bit slower of a grind here. So be prepared to hold on to positions a little bit longer, especially if they're kind of working out for you, but you don't want to hold them too far against you. Sharif.
I wet my beak there on Mara, but it looks like it's having trouble, Joe, with 18. I'm not going to make any pronouncements on it. I'm going to hold this to see what we do. We've been knocking on the door of 18. We already got through 18, man. Let's call a spade a spade. We got to 18.25. Okay. Now, again, 18 could be a level because these whole dollar levels just have a way of being psychological resistance and support. So we'll see if we're able to break through 18, but currently, no. The answer to that is not yet, at least this time around. How was the walk and talk, Katina, man? No talking. No talking. No humidity. Fantastic day to walk. Fantastic day to walk. Reliable. They have the lowest cost. He's talking about Wolf, Reliable. They have the lowest cost per Bitcoin mined in the entire industry because their infrastructure is superior. It does have red flags, but that's the miner to watch, in my opinion. Thank you very much, Reliable, for that. Always love when you drop hotlines, and thank you for joining us again. It's been a hot minute since we've seen you. CAPR says SOS. Yeah, man, it's going down. And that, again, CAPR, my man, these small cap gappers, they're around for a good time. They're not around for a long time. And this is kind of what we're talking about here, Ram. Look at this. This is ugly right here. Lower high. It tests VWAP here, Joe. This is where I got cut up on it. Okay. It pushed me out, popped back up, but that lower high is operative here, and this lower low is even more operative. So it looks like we are on the way down on CAPR. Again, guys, you know, these small cap gappers, the one that show up on your scanners, the one that have a market cap of, you know, less than $1 billion, maybe even less than 500 million, you should be suspicious of them for the most part. You got to have, you know, your stops. You got to, you know, monitor it, resting orders, however you're going to trade. But, you know, don't hold on to these and don't trade them in the way that you would a large cap. I mean, large caps, they trade differently.
Totally different.
Yeah. How are we doing that lesson?
We're going to hop. I was just about to say, let's hop back into the lesson. As we've been talking about is we don't want to hold on to these things. So that's a perfect segue into risk management.
Hey.
Let me pull it up here. So we were talking about the technical analysis, what we are looking for when we are creating options debit spread, or credit spread, sorry. We want to find definitive support and resistance levels. This does not matter if you do not have the capital to do so. So what we want to do, especially with options being a leveraged derivative of the underlying assets. So all options is an alternate tool to trade a stock. We all know that one options contract is worth 100 shares of the underlying stock or what are the underlying assets. So if I were to buy some Apple contracts, one contract is 100 shares of Apple, all right? So this is extremely leveraged. When you have something that's a leveraged derivative, we must always protect our downside, and that leads into risk management. So in order for our credit spread system to work, we need to set stop losses. When we set those stop losses, they have to be an equivalent to what premium we received, all right? You will notice when you create a credit spread is that the risk to reward is vastly skewed. It will never be a one-to-one. You're going to have higher probability setups. So when you're using your delta, your Greek, your options Greek, and you have a probability of profit about 90% or the 0.1 deltas, that means that you have a 90% chance of being profitable on that trade, right? So to hit a one-to-one on that is going to be extremely difficult. The options market isn't going to give you money for free. Imagine you can hit a one-to-one on a trade all the time with a 90% probability. That means 9 times out of every 10 trades, you're going to be correct. Things would be really good. But unfortunately, in the world of options, it doesn't work like that. But in order for our system to work, what we are going to do is, so for example, when we create our credit spread, our options credit spread, and we collect $50, our stop loss will also be $50. Creating a one-to-one risk to reward ratio. So to keep in mind, when we're doing credit spreads, we are given money. We hold on to this money, and the other side of the party says, hey, Joe, I'm giving you $50. Hold on to this. If it goes higher, you owe me. You owe me some more. If it goes lower, then you keep that $50. And I like that. So when we create a spread and we collect $50 or 0.5, our spread, our stop loss spread will be $1. It's simple. So we collect the $50. We then have to return that $50 to that individual and then an additional $50, right? We never owned that $50 in the first place. We were just, it was borrowed to us with an intention of returning it. So when we are wrong from a risk management standpoint, we need to return his $50 and then his or her $50 and then additional $50 as well. So that is what's always going to keep us at a 1-to-1. Always. So when you build a large enough sample set, you're going to know that, hey, I'm collecting X amount on this premium. I have my stop set at double the amount of the premium received. And that's how you rate the order. We're going to touch on that right now.
Bang.
So, and it's going to look exactly like this. As you can see, we have a credit spread. We're going to see a net credit of $15 per contract combination sold, right? So I sell one contract of the put, one contract of the long put, short put, long put. We collect $15. And what we do is we set our stop loss to $30. We're selling 5 contracts, which will come to a total loss of $75 being taken out of our account. All right? So if you guys have any questions on how you set your stops or on why we want to set stops on options, please throw them in the chat, and then we're going to touch on more. Because now we're nearing the end of the total credit spread presentation. So once we put everything together, we have our options delta, we have our support and resistance zones, we're choosing liquid stocks. Now we got to put everything all together like a puzzle piece so that it's much simpler. So throw your questions in the chat.
Bang.
Let me know what's going on. Let me know your thoughts, and tell me if you have any ideas or any questions or concerns.
Fantastic stuff, man. Thank you so much for that, Joe. People are really appreciating it in the chat, and I know I'm getting it out of it as well. What's that? Ram says she's getting a lot of it too. Now she can trade options.
She's getting the options too. Okay.
Yeah, she's getting it because you're dropping hot lines.
I'm dropping hot lines.
Yeah.
Everybody's interested. Everybody's interested.
Man,
in
people are interested in options. People
Absolutely.
love the leverage product of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's good if you don't have such a large account and you want to trade options, then that's great for you because the margin impact isn't as large as it is trading equities.
And that's
why a lot of people...
like just a regular options contract, you can limit your downside risk as well. So you know your options contract is going to catch you X, Y, and Z. And if it expires worthless. That's what your risk was.
So from a long perspective, so if we were to just buy a call, Sharif, right? Say we paid $300 for that. That's our max loss as well. You don't need anything more in your account than what your broker requires you to put on that trade. If you have $300 account and you want to YOLO a $3 call, then by all means, right? But don't do that. Please don't do that. But you don't need any other margin requirements in your account, and that's why people love trading this leverage derivative.
I love it, man. You got, okay, guys, I think the production team, the best in the world, they just put the options questions for Joe in the chat. So if you have those questions, there is now a formal way to do it instead of just tagging and get into the chat right there. And guys, I totally forgot because we've been, doing options. We've been trading. We have a voting segment. It starts at 2 o'clock, and it's nothing without our viewers. If you guys can please vote for your favorite tickers as decided by you. The top 5 make it on. They're covered by Neil and Sean during the afternoon rundown. They look at the tickers as decided by you. Again, only the top 5 make it on. Super simple to do. Get into that chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, and the ticker of your choice. I think we're probably going to have a lot of SMCI. I think we're also probably going to have a lot of Chinese ADRs because Baba and the like are all moving up. How about Micron? You guys want to hear about Micron? How the big boys were looking at Micron today? Get into the dang chat right now. Vote for your favorite tickers. You have about another hour or so till about 1:50. And right now, there we go. Now we're getting some love. My man Zion Lala wants to hear about Carvana, and I don't blame him at all because CarMax today did okay. It was very red in the pre-market, and then it started moving again. Humphrey, my man, you forgot the word join. Exclamation point join, space, $sign, and Tesla, my man. Get back in there and do it. Vancouver Canuck, he wants to know about Amazon. Auto Antics likes Lunar, but you typed it in wrong, my man. Streamlabs, it's not a human. You either enter it the exact same way that Streamlab wants, or it's not going to register your vote. So get back in there, Lunar, type it again. My man Stella, Ella, Ola, quack, quack, quack. Join, MBLY, but you put in the wrong $sign. It doesn't understand that double S, so it won't register. Terminal 101 wants to hear about Micron. Jonathan Mallory wants to hear about Billy, the biggest Chinese ADR mover on the dang day. Burr Vision wants to know about Riot, and I'm assuming you like that because all of crypto's moving up right now, baby. Speaking of Riot, here's Mara doing the most. I got out of this one break even on the rest, Joe, because it wasn't breaking 18. Gonna look to set up something else on that. How you looking over there, man?
Good. We're just holding on to this position so far. We're still short a little bit of AMD here. The longer it holds this level, the less I like it, all right? And what we've emphasized on before is that we're not holding on to things that we don't overly like. Does it need to grab more shares? I'm thinking so before it gets that bottom break. So we're going to continue to look if AMD is going to break this low here and make a new low of day. If AMD breaks the low of day, we don't got much more before we're going to cut the trade and potentially get a better entry.
Right.
Don't hold on to your positions, especially if they're not working for you, because you can always get another entry. Don't fall in love with one particular spot or one stock or position, right? They hold no loyalty to you, so don't hold any loyalty to the stock because it will squeeze you. It will do whatever it wants to do. And when it's prepared to do, we want to participate. We don't want to anticipate, right? So we're not working here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to punch out of my AMD. It's not working. Maybe it needs a little bit more time. And when it's time and it tells me to enter again, we're going to take the trade, Sharif.
Take the trade. Yes, absolutely. I was setting up to do an ad read, but Ram scolded me. And she's like, nope, it's not time, buddy. I'll tell you when it's time. I decide around here. So I'm like, all right, no problem, Ram. I won't do anything. Thank you, Gora, for letting me know there is umpteen amount of support for Baba at 104. I was not alive to that, Gorev. Shout out to you. Let's look at what Gorev is talking about over here. Yes, multiple areas of support intraday at 104 on BABA. You have the initial IB high also rejecting off 104, a bit of a double top there. Then we tested it again after 10 o'clock, another kind of double top at that 104 area. We're weaseling down now a little bit, looking to test 104. I'll be looking to basically defend this area here at 104 on BABA. I'm not sure why my positions aren't showing up, but that's all right. So we're going to look to possibly, no, I want to move it down a little bit more. Let's go down over here into the 10s and look to defend it in and around there. But ideally, obviously, I'm looking to get something back at around 60 pennies or so. There was umpteen amount of support levels there. Let's see if it holds up on the day. BABA, all of Chinese ADR is essentially all moving up on the back of 2 trillion yuan of stimmies, baby. You thought the stimmies we had here during the pandemic were good. No, I think the stimmies we did here was probably a bit more than that. But I don't know how much Canada didn't spend like $300 billion on stimmies.
Yeah, I know
the States did.
We spent a lot on stimmies, but I think it was they got more of like a one-time check. It was something around like they got 2K because I remember I was in Mexico not too long ago and during COVID and we met some American friends and they were like, yeah, we got a 2K check and that's all we've seen. So opposed to the Justin Trudeau $500 a week or something like that, I'll take the $500 a week opposed to the flat-out 2K check, I think. So.
I know, right? I remember those, man. And then the CRA sent everybody letters like, give us back the stimmy money. It's like you didn't say anything about giving back the stimmy money, man. What are you talking
And then
about?
I think the Canadian Revenue Agency said it would cost too much to go through it all to see what they can get back. So
Oh my goodness.
out of the billions of dollars, it will cost too much to see what you can get back. So,
All right, Joe.
anyways.
We got to pay some bills, baby.
Let's go. Let's pay 'em.
Becoming a funded trader means trading with a firm's money instead of your own. At Trade the Pool, you first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You keep up to 80% of the profits while the firm covers the risk. It's a perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Are you ready to become a funded trader? If so, join Trade the Pool. Scan that QR code or click the link in the description for more information. Shout out to the good folks there at Trade the Pool. And I remember we had that the CEO on, and he was dropping all sorts of hotlines. Good technician, by the way. Actually, was using technicals, everything like that. You got to love it. So we're in Baba at this area over here. We're looking to defend. Thank you, Gora, for bringing me, making me alive to the 104 support level. I think I had actually charted that before, but just, when everything's moving like this, you kind of lose track of everything. On a micro level over here, there does seem to be some resistance at 104.40, at least on the 1 minute. We're not really moving up that aggressively and not challenging that level all that much yet. So I kind of hesitant to say that there's a seller at 104. Well, I guess we'll find out if there is or there isn't. But that's what I'm looking at there. Mara also putting in lower lows and lower highs. Let's get rid of this Trade the Pool ad. There we go. So this one now, this was the crest, the area crest, 18.25. Then we get up to 18. That's the area crest. And now it looks like we're rejecting off 1790. So incrementally putting in those lower lows and lower highs. It looks like we're curling a little bit, possibly to move back into the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. We shall see. But Mara kind of putting in a bit of a rounded top. If I could kind of show you what I mean here on the 5-minute chart. Save and accept for these two candles over here. Remove these two candles. We're kind of putting in a rounded top. We kind of climaxed over here, then started putting in, that little bit of a bend to head down a little bit here. So Mara, obviously a fantastic day for Mara. Put some respect on this one's name and crypto in general. That $15 level on the intraday looks awfully good ex post facto, but we'll see if that can actually hold because we saw what happened, number one, on Black Friday in August. It breached, and then most recently got into 13.5, but got bought up super quick, I think, within a couple of days. So we'll have to see if the bullishness on Mara remains. Jay Lee, mention this to Joe, please. SMCI calls for tomorrow 400 strike are still $7. Seems pretty high. Want to address that, Joe?
SMCI calls for tomorrow. I would avoid those 0 DTE so you don't have much room to be profitable. It needs to go exponentially higher than what your strike price is, especially because it's a 0 DTE option, right? So in my opinion, some people have a lot of strategies built around 0 DTE. I do not. I dabble in credit spreads. I'll do bull spreads and other types of things, more complex trades. But as for a flat out call, even though it's only $7, which is $700, the value of that on a 0 DTE, the theta is absolutely going to chew up that contract if it does not decide to trade any higher. So we'll see. What else they have in the chat? Any questions for me in the chat? Other than that, I'm still looking at IBIT. We like where it's forming here. We like how IBIT is consolidating around this area, around this 37.28, putting in potential bottoms. So again, as I was referencing before, if we continue to hold these levels, I'm going to continuously look for a continuation of the trend. As you can see, we entered here in the early hours of the market. We got a beautiful move to the top side, and we got our break-even stop out, a little bit size. What do? We wait for the stock to do what it wants to do, grab some liquidity, grab stops down here, and then we punch another trade for the continuation of the trend. So this is a trend continuation VWAP breakup style. So if we hold this 37.17 area and then we form any type of bullish pattern kind of like we are, even though we're a bit trading to the downside now, I'm going to, some big flush here on IBIT. It is a volatile asset. So if we hold here and continue to trade higher, maybe I'm going to look to join the trend here. So other than that, we're getting to almost near the end of the day. So once we see what's going on here with IBIT, we're going to continue on with our credit spread lesson. We're going to continue and finish it up. We're going to wrap that one up for sure, and plenty more to come, no doubt. But we're waiting for IBIT to come in here a little bit. We're going to see if we hold this 30.17, and then we're going to punch long. Speaking of punching, this is why we got out of AMD. We punched out of AMD. Why? Because the trade wasn't working. I'm not going to hold on to this loser. There's no point. My thesis didn't play out the way I wanted it to. I'm not going to stick to it. I'm not going to hold against it. I'm going to wait, and if the opportunity presents itself to show itself again, then we take the trade again. And that's the same thing with IBIT. When the opportunity presents itself, we take the trade. If it's not working how we would like, if our thesis isn't playing out, then we have no means to hold on to the position on the stock, Sharif.
Joe, we got questions for you, my man. I'm not able to pull them up, but the production team, the best in the world, was able to send them to me. So I'm going to read some of them off to you.
Cool.
Do you trade weekly or monthly options?
Weeklies.
Beautiful.
I trade big weekly options, guys.
And that's because you like that paycheck, that weekly paycheck.
That consistent weekly income, right? So when we're using theta in our time, by the end of the week, I like to see little passive income into the account. So that's why I prefer to choose weeklies. Now, that doesn't mean, Sharif, that I won't open a trade on Thursday or Friday, expiring the next week.
Gotcha.
You still got paid. But again, I put my orders out Saturday, Sunday, do my technical analysis on the weekends, put my orders out, and then if we get filled Monday, Tuesday, then that's great. And then we expire that Friday.
Love it. Love it. Simple, very straightforward answer. More. Can I throw some more at you?
Throw them all at me, brother.
All right. Do you typically buy in the money or out of the money contracts?
So our credit spread theory is extremely out the money. So we want those out the money options. So if the stock does decide to go against us, we still have some leeway room where we can be incorrect, because that's what credit spreads are. They give you multiple possibilities to be profitable. You don't need one specific direction in order to be profitable, right? That's why we love credit spreads. So I sell far out the money because that still gives me room to be incorrect.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we can't show an options chain on the show right now, so sorry, we can't do that. We'll look to get to that later.
Absolutely.
What would be a good example to go a month out on an option? What would be a good example to go a month out on an option? Do you kind of understand what that means?
Okay, yeah. So So if you're playing a specific technical trade, so like it's, for example, shout out to Wayne in the back. He was playing a specific technical trade on SLV. He was playing a breakout trade. So if that trade doesn't break out within a month, then you're going to unfortunately lose the premium on the contract. But when you want to do those things, play the breakout, have something specific so that you give yourself enough time that the Greek theta doesn't chew up the value of the contract. There's nothing wrong with monthlies at all, but make sure that, like in intraday trading, if it's working, hold on to it, but if it's working, cut the trade short. So monthly, if you're playing a breakout or you want to hold on to something for a little while, but you want the move to happen quicker than regular.
We got some love for you here, man. It's not just questions, Joe. There's some love coming here.
Yeah, I love it.
I just
Thanks
wanted
for showing love.
to commend Joe on a fantastic presentation and explanation. I trade a lot of options, and Joe is spot on. Thank you. We're spending the money for that, Joe,
hey,
bro.
Let's go. Money, money, money.
All right, got another one for you here. I don't know if you can help on this one because it's specific to a platform, Webull.
Okay.
How to select stop loss options on Webull platform? Don't feel like we have to reinvent the wheel.
I don't use Webull, but what I can pull up for you real quick is this, and I'll show you this, and it will be identical on your options platform as well too. So this is what we want. This is how you want your stop loss to look, all right? So as you receive your premium, your stop loss is going to look exactly like this. This is 75 because it's calculating a contract size of 5, so 500 shares, okay? So if you're collecting $15, your stop loss is going to be double the amount. So hopefully that answered your question.
All right, I got more. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, don't apologize.
Do you recommend options before earnings?
Well, it depends. Fairly vague question. It depends what system you're implying, right? If you're playing straddles, sure, because you're going to look for those extreme expected moves in options. But if you're in a credit spread condition, that is a big no-no. Because as I touched on before, you're collecting, if you're doing a credit spread before earnings, you're collecting premium at its low. And then with the spike of volatility, the average true range of the stocks are going to vastly increase, also vastly increasing the options premium. So essentially, you're buying something that's not worth very much, and then eventually it's going to be worth even more, but it's not like stocks, it's not going to work like that, right? Because you're being lent that money. So, yeah, that's
great answer, man. How much capital do you start with? I remember you said specifically you can start with a small account. That's the benefit of options. So the question goes on to say, how much capital did you start with when you first started trading options? Again, that's kind of a personal question, so don't feel you're obligated to answer that. You can give more of a general answer.
Yeah. So again, we touched on this a little bit before. You don't need as much capital in options as like you are trading equities, right? So just as a rule of thumb, if you're really looking to start trading options, they are leveraged, right? So you always want to be capital protective, but something around $5,000 is going to be more than enough for you to start getting your toes wet in options.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, some of the questions that you sent, again, Ram here, are kind of repetitive about like how far he goes. Yeah, so I think he already said that he does weeklies, weekly options, because he likes that continuity of the payout, and that makes absolute sense, eminent practical sense there. So thank you, guys. If you'd like to tag Joe or I, make sure to tag me so that I can see the red little rectangle there. I'll pass on the message to Joe, or the question, excuse me, to Joe. So he's dropping hotlines today. I think the chat's really liking what you have to say today, man, and very, very happy to have you on. Obviously, I think you're adding some great content, dude.
Absolutely. And just to touch on AMD, I'm in AMD here. I'm back in the short. That's exactly what I was referring to earlier. We don't hold on to the position. I punched back into the position. I got out because it wasn't working. Now it's telling me to get back in because we might break this bottom level. So I get back in. So let's see how this trade works out, Sharif.
All right, man. I've been holding BABA here for a hot minute, looking to defend that 104. It's been stuck in a range for the better part now, I want to say, of 15, 20 minutes. A little bit at 104.40, a little bit at 104. I'm a little concerned. I'll tell you the truth. Why? Because we're putting in lower highs. Okay, I put my stop where it is. I could have gotten out break even or even a couple of penny winner, but that isn't the move. And why does it have me concerned? Sure, I see a lot of good support here intraday at 104. It's a fantastic look. But look at this. This is what's important to me. Lower high, keeping that trend of lower highs. Now, if we can kind of put in higher lows and curl through the break of that 104 and change, then fantastic. But, you know, we'll see, because I'm not too optimistic on this yet. It looks like the better move of BABA is behind it. If that is the case, then obviously we get stopped out here. Zigging and zagging back into 104 again. We go on BABA. One thing that I did mention, though, was a trade on Duo, guys. So I did get out of this one while Neil was dropping hot lines at about 124. But, you know, look at that. It does the gnarly double top there into 142. So the initial high a day was 143, second high a day 142, so a double top possibly here. Now, my suggestion to you is, if you guys want to play a double top, well then, it's going to have to be on a neckline break. I wouldn't even say wait for VWAP. I would say wait for this area over here that we printed the trough at 11.15 at about $1.10 or so. We'll have to see how that goes out. Okay, now I see a lot of red rectangles. Great info, you legends. Mad Love says 420 Bud Monster. They're loving the content, dog.
We're loving it.
M Sense, how can follow him after this? Thanks for everything. You got social media that you want to share?
Yeah, I got some Twitter. Yeah, you can follow me at intradayj92 on Twitter. On Twitter, that's it. Other than that, I'm not an Instagram guy or anything like that. So intradayj on Twitter, you can follow me there. I'm not the most active individual, but hey, follow me. throw whatever you want, shoot me a DM if you have any questions on options, then I'll be more than glad to answer them. But as you can see, we got AMD starting to work here a little bit. And what did I do? I was speaking about this earlier. Pull up my IBIT. It held the level that I wanted it to hold. So what I entered the trade. That's as simple as it is. It held. I said, we are in a bullish trend. We are moving to the top side. Bitcoin was in a breakout territory. I'd like this. I'm going to continue with the trend. So as you can see, we have this consolidated period for probably close to over an hour. And I'm going to look for a trend continuation on this. So here we are. We're in IBIT Sharif, and it's working to the top side.
All right, we got more, man. We got some love coming in from Hal R. All right, Hal. Sharif and Joe, excellent show. Please do more of these. Very interesting and another way to trade. Could not agree more, my man, especially with my ignorance in options. I love to learn a little bit, and we got the man right here next to us. Could not thank him more. Gorev. Uber looks like a bit of a cup and handle, holding right above VWAP. We'll have a look at that in a hot second. Thank you, Day Trader Cut, letting me know that the 7-year auction just got printed. 7-year forecast yield 3.68. The forecast was 3.7. Bid to cover actual 2.63. The forecast was 2.5. Thank you very much, Day Trader Cut, for that. Coming in there midday with the hotlines. I do appreciate that. Elon, hi, Joseph. I guess, because they got your name as Joseph there. I was like, what's going on?
What's up?
Why is he calling you Joseph? Hi, Joseph. Before we touch options, should we master stock trading first as option prices move much faster than stock prices? Right? Asking you a question.
That's a great question. And I love that question specifically because when I first started intraday trading or even investing way back in the day, I didn't even know options existed. I didn't even know what they were. So about 1.5 to 2 years within my full-time intraday trading career is when I first started discovering options. And that helped me a lot with the technicals and how to apply option strategies. Because again, it's just it's another vehicle to play the underlying stock. They can be complicated at first, but like with everything, the more you use it, the more comfortable you're going to get. And that's the exact same with options. It is almost no different than the asset that you are trading. It's just a different vehicle to use them. So yeah, I had
Fantastic.
2 years experience before I started trading options. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Really
and yeah, I would have to echo that sentiment too, because I think, yeah, definitely equity is a bit easier to understand, certainly, than options, guys. All right, man, I'm still in this BABA trade, and I have no idea what's going to happen here. It's either going to break 104 to the downside, Ram, or it's going to take out 104.40 to the high side, because that's been the range. However, the last 10 minutes or so, the range has been getting a little bit tighter. So we were talking about 40s possibly to the high side. I submit to you now that it's 30s. I think the bigger seller is moving down incrementally, causing lower lows. We'll have to see if a flat bottom break manifests through the lows there. And there it comes, baby. We already broke through 104, so I don't want no smoke on this. If we continue down, we're going to either have to wick up, or that's the end of my trade here on BABA. Beautiful. But this 104 area was holding. You know, it's $100-some-odd stock, so I don't want to be quick to get out on a quick 5-penny wick or something like that. But this is breaking the level, and that seller is pushing it down. So I'm going to flatten out here if it continues to go down. But Baba bamboozling me on this last little bit, but we had a couple of good trades on it earlier. But you know, this area looking for that dip trade into 104, maybe not going to work out. Here we go. Ooh. Right back above 104 we go, zigging and zagging, man. Hard to know what to do. What are you looking at, Joe?
We're in IBIT. This thing is absolutely buzzing to the top side. As you can see here, we just took some off. We're just continuing with the trend. We're not fighting anything. We're not making anything complicated. The stock's moving up. We're going up with it. It's that simple. We just want to join the trend. We want to be involved with the strength, all right? And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 entries on IBIT today. And I'm not fighting it. I feel when I took my AMD short, we've already made such a large move, and to continue to the downside on such a strong sector is, I don't know how likely. But as you can see, we're just continuing with the strength. I came up with a game plan, I built a thesis, and I said, if IBIT continues to hold at this level, I'm going to look to continue in the trend. And that's exactly what we're doing, Sharif.
Yeah, and we did defend 104, Joe, but I think I'm accurate in my thesis that the seller that's been preventing us from ascending above that 40 penny level is moving down incrementally, because it's not posting on the ask, but when we ascend, you can see that wave of selling come in a little bit lower every single time. Initially, it was in the high 30s to kind of 40s. Then it weaseled down into the 30s. Then it weaseled down into the 20s. Now it's in the low 20s or mid-teens, unless there's going to be a buyer here that helps switch that up. We're break even on this. We could get out here, but that ain't the move, baby. I'd rather get stopped out, okay? I'd rather allow this to manifest than take it out and then watch it go back up above. So I'm going to pack my patience there, and whatever happens, come what may. I want to tell you that, guys, it's kind of subdued a little bit here on the midday with respect to some of these large caps. They've been interesting. They've been interesting. A lot of them have been very tame. There has been some action. I want to say Google I had eyes on the VWAP retracement into Google. It got into that 163 and a fifth, and now it's all the way back down into 160, or was 162.50. But everything else has been very kind of sideways a little bit. There hasn't been a whole lot of intraday volatility. You've got a couple of outlying events midday over here, but other than that, it's just been tough sailing for the large caps during the midday, Joe. So here we go again with BABA into the 30s, being met with some selling here at the 20s. I mean, let's see. I've moved down my order to take out some profits, but it looks like the seller is also moving down, preventing me from getting printed. So that is the look there. We're going to have to pack our patience. Not a whole lot to talk about here. Here we go. Could we get the print finally? Are we going to get the print, Joe?
Let's go.
I don't know if we'll get the print.
I think you're getting it.
All right. Hey, there we go. All right, now we're 15 pennies in the money. Let's go break above 40. Let's go, Baba.
Let's go. Locking in those gains.
I used to be a trader up on the, I don't know if did you ever meet Ian?
I never knew Ian, no.
He's been here a couple of times. He used to do the show a little bit, like every now and again when someone needed filling in. And like, obviously we're yapping for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So not everything that comes out of Vermont is gonna be perfect, okay?
No, ever.
So yeah, and so he slipped up one time and called this Baba. Instead of Baba. And it's just kind of stuck, right? Yeah, so I've been calling it Baba since that time. Look, guys, what I'm going to do here on Baba is I'm going to put an order for another beak wetter on the north side of 40. So this all presupposes that we break resistance. I'm putting it at 45, come what may, Joe. Hopefully we'll get something there. 35's printing here. Milky Way not feeling NVIDIA, but Streamlabs does not like your language, Milky Way. Doesn't like that at all. It gets very upset. Streamlabs obviously is not a human being. Let's calm down. Strobe V, implied volatility, hence premiums go up leading into earnings as well. That's actually true, right? Because implied volatility has a lot to do with the implied move as well.
Absolutely, the expected move. Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, to go on to conclude our options talk for the day, considering that we're talking about expected moves and everything, we are going to conclude our options segment for today.
Hey.
So from previous sessions, we're going to put everything all together. It's all puzzle pieces. We're not going to try to complicate anything, all right? So putting it all together. One, we want to find the stock or index where you like the technical setup and would like to construct a credit spread. Simple. Two, define our technical risk and prep for possible outs if our thesis doesn't play out how we would like. So just like AMD and everything, if everything isn't working how we would like, don't hold any loyalty to the trade. Just get out. That's it. The Greeks. Pull up our weekly options chain and correlate your technicals with our options Greek, selecting the 0.1 delta or less. Or if you feel a little bit more comfortable selling something a little bit higher, then by all means do so. Select our short strike price. Buy a protective option as well. So when we sell a put or a call, we need to buy that protection. We use $5 spreads to kind of maximize the credit we received and minimize our losses, all right? We're gonna set our stop losses at 100%, and then we submit our order and let Theta do the remainder of the work for us. Greek, that's what we want. We are option sellers.
Love it.
Theta is our guy. We love this Greek. And that's what lets us collect that weekly income. So guys, if you have any more questions on credit spreads, bull put spreads, bear call spreads, a combination of anything, we're not going to get more complicated. Maybe we will on another day. But throw those questions in the chat. And like the whole day, I'm going to be interested. I want to hear your questions, and I'm going to answer them as best as I can.
Man, we're loving having you on. Guys, there is a white rectangle or whatever part on the top of the chat there. Click that, type in your question. I can't see it, but the best production team around will know of it, and they'll send it to me, and then I'll obviously pass it off to Joe. So use that Q&A option at the top of the chat. Say that again, Ram. Cool. She was gatekeeping them. She doesn't want any of the questions passed that she doesn't like to you, Joe. So, you know, she's gatekeeping.
I trust Ram. I trust Ram on the questions that she's going to send my way.
That's the first mistake. First mistake right here, right there.
So I still trust you, and we will we'll take any questions headed our way.
For sure, for sure. We're just teasing Ram. I had a different issue over here. Somebody was asking something. Gorev, I took a long now on Baba. Yeah, man, I'm still long Baba. We're about 16 pennies in the money, something like that. Seeing a hammer on the 10-minute. Yes, my man, and I like the hammer through 104. It dipped into 104. I think that was a specialist breakdown to push people with stops very close to that 104 out. That's just my opinion for now. We're making higher lows and higher highs. I think we're curling up here, 440 break. There is a seller at 35, 36. I won't be convinced otherwise. Every time we ascend into the mid to the high 30s, we're met with a wall of selling. But how long? How long can that seller hold on for? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he wins, maybe they win, who knows? I'm waiting on the 104.45 area, and that's where I'm waiting for the print there. We'll see what we get. I want to mention that I feel Micron might be curling up here. Okay, so Micron has been obviously a monster. On the day, we got lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. I think we kind of created a base at around 1230. Looks like somebody shut off the sell algo at 1230, because then, Joe, we've been putting in higher lows and higher highs, a bit of an upward channel, kind of that rounded bottom. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. And we're on our way, it looks like here, into the 50 exponential moving average on the 5. That is 109.60. But I think we could probably do a bit better, maybe into that 110 3/4, where the volume weighted average price is hanging out. Micron, good look, about 14% right now, maybe curling up into the highs. Hard to know because, well, I made the point that the future and these Mag 7 names have been awfully subdued on the day ever since they made a big down move off the bell, not the bell, but, you know, 10 o'clock or whatever. It's been very flat. Even though you've got Softy. I mean, John Del Segno, the OG, John Del Segno was saying something about Softy a second ago. Microsoft looking like it's about to go for a jog downtown. You're not wrong, John. It's negative on the day, 0.56, right? Obviously, look, they had an exodus of talent. Let's call a spade a spade. They don't own OpenAI, but they have $10 billion worth, and I don't even know how much they're going to invest in the second round. We've been hearing about Apple wanting to get in this up round for OpenAI now. Amir Muradi's a heavyweight, bro. Some of the people that were leaving as well from OpenAI, their technical talent. Yeah, obviously it's not going to hurt Microsoft directly, but they, you know, they're relying a lot on it. I don't know how much Copilot is using some of OpenAI stuff, or they have their own kind of concurrent stuff. Katina Man thinking about that one as well. So we're at the low of day right now on Softy. That's just the way it is. Okay, we printed 429.33. We're near the low of day. We're below the 10, the 20. Take your pick. Everything on Softy. Is it the worst performing? No, it's not. 0.61 for Softy. The worst performing Mag 7 name on the day right now is TSLA, down 1.45. But, you know, anybody who's been watching Tesla lately knows what it's been doing. So, yeah, it's okay that we give back a little bit. The rocket ship, a.k.a. the Cybertruck, or SpaceX, or what is it, Starship? Starship. Taking a bit of a break today. Man, have you seen the size of that gargantuan
You know what?
thing,
I've seen the first one in person, other than at the Sherway Gardens Tesla.
No, I meant Starship.
Oh, the Starship. Oh,
it's the biggest thing you've seen. It's like a tower, dude.
Is it? Yeah.
Elon was showing somebody around, I think from like a tech company or something like that, and like Elon's standing there, and this thing really does feel like a skyscraper, bro.
Yeah.
It's a monster.
He's got his fingers in everything, Elon. So it's tough to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shout out Fiona though. Thanks for showing the love in the chat. We appreciate it. I'm glad you guys learned something today. That means an absolute a lot. So again, keep throwing your questions in there. Keep showing the love, and it's much appreciated, man. We got
Ram, can you send me some of those questions now? Because it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, we got a lot of great stuff coming up for you guys. A lot of options and stuff. So it's good stuff.
All right, baby. I wanted to remind you guys that you guys have the opportunity to vote. There's so much moving today, whether it's these Chinese ADRs that have been rocket shipping to the high side, or some of the chips that moved on the new headline for Micron yesterday that DRAM is not in, there's no glut of inventory for high bandwidth memory. Get into the chat right now, exclamation point, the word join, space, $, and the ticker of your choice. So much to talk about. How about Mara? How about Baba? How about PDD? What about Micron? What about NVIDIA? Tesla, the Cybertruck? Get into the chat. Have your say every day, or the big kahunas are not going to look at the name that you want to look at, but only the top 5 guys make it on. So persuade your friends in the chat, or your enemies, get them to vote your way and have your name make the list there, baby. So that's a look there. What are you looking at, Joe?
Again, we're looking at AMD. We took a couple stabs at this trade on the break lower. It just wasn't working out how we liked, so we're not going to hold anything. But what I did is I did flip long. If we're not going to fail to break to the downside, well, maybe we go topside. I like the topside move. Maybe we squeeze back towards VWAP and we hold VWAP. But anything moving as we break down, okay, that's great. So, you know what? We're not going to hold on to it. We've been trading IBIT for the whole day. It's been working for us. AMD hasn't been working exactly how we want it to be. We might have missed the big move already, so we're not going to hold on to it. We're going to punch out an IBIT as soon as it breaks this low, and we're not going to chase anymore. We took our stabs at it, 3-4 stabs at the stock, and we're not going to fight the trend anymore.
Joe, we just got a big sell right now on the future. We're breaking down to lows, Joe. So here we go. We're testing the closing day, the closing print from yesterday, 20,190 on the NQ December contract. We are there right now. Okay, so we are at the close. This is break-even territory right now for the future. You got a big down in soft, big move down in soft. You got a big move down in NVIDIA. So we were waxing poetic about the Mag 7's doing bupkis during this midday show. Well, they just did something, baby, and it is a downside move. Amazon on the way down. Tesla, NVIDIA, Google was already on the way down. It was already at lows. Microsoft, Meta, all on the way down. The only one not at lows is the dead one, Apple. It is a skosh below the volume-weighted average price, probably because it's been selling off already, below 227 right now. But it also went down. It also went down. Let's call a spade a spade. We're putting in lower lows. Lower highs. We don't necessarily, though, have lower lows, Joe. We seem to have bottomed out kind of at the same area that we bottomed out at 1130. So we'll have to see if that area holds up. But yeah, everything right now in Future World, Mag 7 World, on the way down. And that's caused my BABA position to also go down, despite the fact that it had been consolidating to no end. The market doesn't just affect these Chinese ADRs, baby. The market in general is going to include, doesn't just affect the Mag 7. It includes these Chinese ADRs as well, because we got a bit of a sell there on BABA, buddy.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so we're still looking at AMD as the market starts to sell a little bit. AMD's still holding these levels, so we're not going to fight this. We got IBIT pulling in a little bit as well, so we're not going to, we're out of that position. We're out of that third trade. I'll pull it up here. We took some off, and then we got stopped out break even, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine, because if it does the same thing again, I'm going to look to join the trend again. It's breaking out. Let's join the breakout. Let's participate. We're not going to anticipate, right? We're going to have a good time. We're going to join the trend. We're not going to fight such a volatile asset either. So we're holding. We're going to see if we can get another position here on IBIT, and then we're going to take it from there. We got the market selling. It's not wanting to make any new lows, so it's holding this 486 level on the Qs, which is absolutely fine. Does it bounce, or do we get some volume influx around 2 o'clock or so, and then we take another leg to the downside? We don't know. But until then, all we can do is just pack our patience, as Sharif says. We just sit on our hands and wait. Sometimes no position is the best position, so we're going to keep it at that. We're going to look at some stocks. We're going to see what is potentially setting up, and we take it from there. We hold this 37.22 level again, then, hey, maybe we punch another long and we continue to the top side. We don't know. We might have a potential topping signal here on IBIT. this volume signature isn't completely isolated, but it's standing out above the rest. So can this potentially be a topping signal? Absolutely, and we pull back a little bit. The asset has been totally strong for the whole day, so I'm not going to speculate against it. I'm going to think there's going to be some continuation within the trends. So with that continuation, we join it, brother. We join it.
Crap. All right, here we go. Sorry.
No, that's all right. No. I was just saying we're out of this IBIT position. We're not fighting the trend on AMD. We're going to hold it. If it continues to hold these levels, we're going to join. So we're not going to fight anything, brother.
All right. Okay, here we go. Baba at 104s. Here we go again with this one. Do we add here? I'm going to add. Why isn't it letting me add? Oh, come on, bro. Now it's getting away from my level, brah. All right. Well, I'm going to wait for it to come back down. Then that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to wait there, and we're going to put in the last beak wetter as well at the same place that I had before because it just got taken out. That sucks. I really wanted to add out 104. I was actually going to add 103.98. I don't know why it didn't let me in. Now it's 20 pennies higher, and that's just how it is, bro. So
that's how it goes sometimes. If you guys are in the chat, just let me know what you guys, let me and Sharif know what you guys are looking at. So throw whatever ticker you're looking at the chat, or you want us to drop some knowledge on there, some TA on that stock.
Hey.
Other than that, throw those options questions too. I love answering the options questions. So
I got some questions.
We got some questions. Perfect. Let's go through them.
Book. Do you recommend a certain book? Give me an options book.
Yep.
And then give me a TA book.
Okay.
And throw me one psychological book.
Okay. Cool. Oh, that's great. I love it. I love that.
Go.
So we have Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas, banger, absolutely great psychology book. We love that one. TA standpoint. Hey, the 4 Dummies series is absolutely great. They're almost textbooks. They're textbooks, right? So they're great. They go through so many different styles of indicators, how price action works, and everything like that. Also, Japanese candlestick patterns for dummies. That's a little bit more complex, but we love that one. And it's a little repetitive, but it shows you how things go. And Sharif, I want everybody to know this one book. It's called Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling. That is an absolute must read. An absolute must read for TA, especially when you're correlating price with volume. Now, options, we have multiple books that we can read. Okay. Again, go for the 4 Dummies series. 4 Dummies is great. They are textbooks. I have read countless 4 Dummies books. We went through the Freeman Publications ones that we talked about last week. They have multiple books that I've read. We have the option strategies for beginners and the options wheel. You combine that with the 4 Dummies and you have those 3 books, as well as watch endless YouTube University, and hey, you're going to know a lot about options. Run through the chain, pull up chains, and just execute things from a paper standpoint until you get comfortable. But those books, we got Psychology, we got Trading in the Zone, TA, we got Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling, and for options, we got Freeman Publications and 4 Dummies.
Love it, man. I had to pull up who this Anna Cooling individual, she a CMT?
I have no idea what she is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I'm just pulled it up over here. We're going to have a look at this. Thank you, Joe, because I haven't actually heard about her.
That's a great book. It's honestly one of my favorite books. It shows the correlation between price and volume and what a genuine move is and what a volume price anomaly is, right? So it's really, really good. So maybe one day we'll touch on that. I know Sharif touched on the correlation of volume and price, so that's another great read right there.
That's fantastic stuff, man. Appreciate that recommendation. Guys, tag me in the chat if you want my man Joe to answer any of your options questions, or even throw some TA in there if you'd like. My man, he can do it all. So throw it in. Tag me though so that I'm able to see it. Rogelio Concepcion, a bit of a cheeky question here. Are you related to Blake Griffin? I'm sure you get that all the time.
No, I never got that all the time. No. Unfortunately, I'm not related to Blake Griffin. Totally not related to Blake.
You're going to have to get used to that here, man.
That's all right. We like that one.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I'll take it.
There you go. Great hook, great book. She gives another spin-off of Wyckoff, Accumulation Distribution, says Chris. Thank you very much for that, Chris. Dow theory as well apparently is being discussed, and they're all important stuff, man.
We like the Wyckoff. I know you're always talking about the Wyckoff method, so we like the Wyckoff methodology and stuff.
Stop. You're going to get trolled here,
that's
especially
all right,
with
man.
them.
We love
too.
it. We love
they
it.
will
Man.
troll you.
Throw them out there. Hey, that's a compliment in my eyes.
There
If
you
I
go.
look like Blake Griffin, maybe he can share some of his contract money that he got. We'll take some of that over there.
Can you jam like him,
Yeah,
though?
he can. No, I can't jam like him, unfortunately. So if he's got a couple millions to spare, feel free to donate over here.
Guys, we are certainly, there is a seller of note, Ram, at 36 here on Baba. Every single time we have ascended to 36, I want to say in the past 40 minutes, we have rejected. Okay, despite putting in higher lows, we've been coming in at 35. Watch this. No size at 35. No size at 36. Obviously an iceberg every single time we ascend it here, because I've been waiting at 45, so I've been watching this like a hawk. And here we go. 36s. Let's see if we can get 37s. I bet you we don't get 37s over here, and we don't, because it keeps rejecting at 36. So I have a choice. I can take it out here. What's my average price right now? Because the thing doesn't show. My average price is 14s right now. So we're like 20 pennies in the money, but that ain't the move. The move is to get the break through the top, Ram, at that 104.40. The problem is there's a seller at 35 and 36 that we can't seem to shake.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, that's great, Sharif. Again, we're going to touch back on AMD here and why we got out of our short. Look, we failed to break the bottoms here. And sure enough, it held, and anything, any Kindle under this market can set a fire, a blaze. And as we go, we're squeezing. You can see the orders smashing the ask, totally gaining strength. We're squeezing here. We failed to break, so now we're going higher. That's why we don't fight. So imagine I was still holding on to my short position. I would now be in panic mode. I would be, I'm gonna take a way larger loss than I ever would want to. So that's why we get out of the position. We do not want to hold on to these losers, or if something doesn't work immediately, then we get out. Now listen, I know I punched long again, right? I punched long, I flipped my bias because we failed to break. And I punched out again because the market started to sell. It's now moving. That's part of the game. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. And the more comfortable you get with that, the more longevity I think you're gonna have in this business.
All right, Joe, I took it out at 36s because I didn't want to keep waiting. I still have a piece for the dream.
He's still in the background. Yeah, fade in, Blake Griffin.
Right. Here we go. Now we get 37s as I took it. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, universe.
Come
on, universe. No, universe. All right, so I took out the bigger piece, and there it goes. We're still holding a piece, guys, of Baba, but it's not as big. We're long 104.10s. We're printing 45s. Look, if we took this level out, I want to see, number one, does the seller reset a little bit higher, or have we moved them out of the way completely? Number two, what do we do at that $50? Because I got to tell you, I'm thinking about adding into this position again now that I paper-handed the trade. We're curling up. This looks like a rounded bottom to me, man. We come in, we hold a key area of technical resistance at that 104. I won't be convinced otherwise, right, about that 104 formerly resistance, now support. The only question that I have really to myself is, do we get that continuity through the $50? I don't think we're going to have to wait that long. We are knocking the door of the $50 at 47s. Let's see if we can continue to go up. You're not going to see any sell orders come from me here because, in fact, I'm going to be looking to add. Okay, so if we break through that 50 dang penny area, I'm so disappointed in myself for having taken it out at 35 there. That's a mistake. I ran out of patience. That's really what I did. That's only reason. Here we go. There goes 50. Does it move up on the bid? Is the bid moving up, Joe? No, not quite yet. So we got it on the ask, but the bid still a little bit below that 50 penny area. I'm going to pack my patience here. BABA. It likes 2 trillion in stimmy money, baby. Just ask any of these Chinese ADRs. They're loving that stimmy money.
Love the stimmy.
Say it again.
I have something to say to chat.
You have something to say in the chat?
Yes, sir. No,
Okay.
to the stream.
To the chat. Okay, go ahead.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Remember to like and subscribe,
That's
says
a
the
big one.
Chilean
That's a big
nightmare.
one. That's a big one.
But you know what I got? I got something for that.
What's that, brother?
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Pretty fool.
That is my favorite one right there because, he's like, 18, baby,
Mr.
18.
T.
Joe, we blew through that $50. Now we're nicely in the money here, knocking on the door of 60 pennies right now on BABA. It's a good look, guys. Did you get anything out of today's lesson? Because I certainly did. I suck at options. If it was worth anything to you, if Joe dropping hot lines about the options was worth anything to you, it would mean a lot to the channel if you hit the like, if you hit the subscribe. You got something, give something back. We love you for it. Thank you. You guys are the best viewers ever, man.
Beautiful,
and that,
beautiful.
Just like that, Joe, we're taking that out, baby. B-A-B-A. Liking this trade, man. Happy with this.
Beautiful move on Baba there, Sharif. Again, just to touch on some books. This is the book right here. We love this book. It's a great must read here. So go out, get that book. It's absolutely fantastic. We are squeezing it here on the market. Sharif's printing up a storm. As his iconic line is, he's printing cash. So we don't know what we're gonna do with it all after. We don't know. It's almost Friday. Any big plans for the weekend, actually?
What am I doing? I got a boys sesh Saturday morning.
Right on.
We're doing a Humber Beach run.
Ooh,
so pumped about that because we alternate Woodbine, Humber, Woodbine, Humber.
Beautiful.
And then my aunt's got a place up north now. We're kind of using that. We're inviting ourselves to her place.
Oh, yeah, that's great. hey, it's your aunt, and you just show up,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You just show up.
Cousins,
that's
you know what I mean?
It's cousins.
How about
aunts,
yourself, my man?
That's it. Nothing crazy. You know how it is, man. We're just gonna hit the gym, relax.
Love that.
Go do some TA, do nothing crazy, take it easy.
Hey, what do you got in
and
this?
that's it.
What are you sessioning today?
Today, I don't know what I'm going to hit today, Sharif. It's kind
Upper
of a
body,
free
baby.
room. Today we're going to upper body. We hit
Hey.
legs on Tuesday.
Nice.
So we're going to take a little break. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I have a puck drop tonight. Hockey, 9:30. Penalty 6. Shout out the boys. We got a big hockey game tonight. We're 0-2, just like the Leafs, unfortunately. But hey, we're going to get that big W tonight. And so shout out to the boys on P6.
Be there or be square. This is a Chilean nightmare. Love it, man. My man's a hockey guy, and he made that very clear. He made that very clear because we started talking some footy, and then, he had to caveat that one. So shout out to Joe, man. We're absolutely loving having you on today, bro.
Beautiful.
Guys, duo. I was waxing poetic to using a Dara term about this one, and this one, gnarly double top. Look at that. Look at that double top, and there's the neckline break.
Beauty.
Now we are below the volume-weighted average price. So here's what I would do. You could punch in short here. I would give myself, if I was to get in short, I would give myself to $1.25 to take advantage of this consolidation area top. There was clearly a seller at around $1.25 preventing this from ascending back above and going to $1.33. So if you get in short here, I put in $1.25 short. Or I would wait until it came back and tested or retested, the volume-weighted average price. Right now, it's showing up on my chart at $1.11. It makes a difference with these dollar stocks if you get in $1.11, $1.06, because, we're not moving hundreds of dollars here. We're not moving dollars. We're moving pennies.
That's it.
So that's the look there. Now, keep in mind that you're shorting, if you're going to get short, DUO, you are getting short a stock that is up 114% on the day, which also has, by the way, a short float of 15.47% and has a very small float. It's not the smallest I've ever seen, of 6.42 million. Why is that relevant? Because the smaller the float, the more parabolic it can become. And the higher the short float, again, it adds more volatility to it, especially to the high side and the down. It doesn't really make a difference. So keep that in mind if you do want to short DUO. I don't typically short these small cap gappers just for exactly that reason. But, it's setting up with a double top, the breach of VWAP, the break of the neckline, yada, 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 yada. So that's my look on that. MARA, I want to mention too, guys, Mar's been a dang rocket ship on the day, and here it comes. Here it comes into that 1542, and it's also got VWAP here now. So now we have this consolidation area round the top off which we rejected initially. That's at around 1740, 1745. But it was a standalone. Now it's being supported by the volume-weighted average price being essentially at that 40 penny area. I want to see what Mara does. I'm not going to have a resting order there, Joe, but I'm gonna watch.
You're gonna watch. You're gonna keep your eyes on it, just like I got my eyes here on AMD. Breaking my heart. Unfortunately, we're going to the top side, and that's okay. Because you know what? There's, as Obi says, everybody loves Obi. What's the next trade, right? So what is the next trade? We're going to be looking for the next trade. We got IBIT, our beautiful stock on the day coming into the downside as well too. The market kind of holding these levels, so we might just chop around a little bit. We'll see what 2 o'clock brings. Maybe some volume steps in or something happens. Some catalyst, some bomb may drop, and we might get that volume influx that we really like in the 2 o'clock hour.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fabian is just trolling me right now. Shout out to Fabian, man. Ram. How you want to? Can you? Oh, Fabian, can we show them that camera? There it is. Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Where is she? I love how she's leaving. She
not
goes
the
and hides
traders you're
behind
looking for.
Fabian. Fabian, can you talk to the chat through that microphone?
Yes, sir. What's
How
up?
come I can't hear you? Oh, because then you
Because
talking to the chat, you're not talking to my ear.
You got a special line, that's why.
So then I can't hear when you talk into the chat. That's kind of. That's a
Can
bit
now?
tough.
How about
now? I
now?
can
There
now,
we
but
go.
now the chat can't hear you,
No,
right?
they can still hear
Oh, they
me.
can hear you. Oh, amazing. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare, man. Absolutely killing it on the ones and twos, baby. Fabian. We have another production guy, too, that I don't know if the viewers know too much about him. He's back there. Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't feel me there. I thought you had your headphones on. That's Andre. We haven't talked about him too much, but you'll be seeing a lot more of him. There he is, baby. Andre, the new production guy, killing it, man. Work ethic like no other. Trust me. Always here, like right in the morning. So shout out to Andre, man, killing it. What are we doing here, Yuri? Yuri's voting for Mara. I love it. I forgot to tell you guys one more time. You guys got 12 minutes to vote every day. Make sure you're entering it the right way, though. I see you guys are not putting in the right prompt. It's join. It's exclamation point. Join. Space, $, and the ticker of your choice. If you want to know what the Chinese ADRs are up to, if you want to know what the chips are up to, what the Mag 7, or even the Fuge, and how the big kahunas would have traded it, get into the chat right now and have your say every day. Joe and I are going to be on for another 20 minutes, and we'll definitely want you back on, Joe.
Absolutely. Anytime. It's an honor. So, we got any options questions there? But
Ram, throw me some of those options questions, because I'm not able to answer the, or you did, my bad.
We got more.
I screwed up, Joe. I screwed up.
That's all right. But first, we got Sebastian, shout out. Uzi Options, big shout out. And there was another guy, sorry, I just missed him, but a big shout out to you as well, too. Thanks for showing the love, guys. It means a lot. Love talking options with you guys. It's a great time. We got a lot more option stuff, so we're looking forward to that. Absolutely.
Joe, what are your thoughts on the wheel strategy, the one that we watched?
Oh, yeah. So Sharif and I were at the Money Show the other weekend. We had a great time there, and we had a presenter on the options wheel. I think the options wheel is a great strategy. Again, with that one, you're going to need a little bit more capital to run, but the options strategy from a perspective is really good. It's a really good strategy. It's really efficient. There's meaning behind it, and it can work continuously. Absolutely.
Do you use options flow or level 2?
Oh, I don't. So see, options flow, what I do is on my IBKR. So level 2, I don't have access to on that. Another trading platform absolutely has access to that, but from the IBKR app, we don't.
Okay, let's keep going on this. Okay, so when do you buy the option, which day's better? So you go a week out, but you've made the point clear that on Thursday or Friday, you will get into a position that expires the Friday after.
Absolutely. So I like this question a lot. So I will set orders out on the weekend. If they get filled or not come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's fine. That's okay. Because sometimes I'll put an order out and it won't get filled till Tuesday or Wednesday. This is fantastic, Sharif. You know why? Because that is 2 less days that I'm holding onto a position that I would have held onto for a week, but I'm still collecting the exact same amount of money.
Bang.
So 2 days less in the market. We get filled on a Wednesday. Wayner and I were talking about it. It expires Friday. That's 3 days in the market. That's less exposure for me, and that works.
Fantastic, man. All right, I think you kind of touched upon this, but viewers are always coming in and out, so sometimes they don't hear. How much does the delta affect your decisions?
Oh, it has an absolute massive impact. It is my key metric on how I select it, whether the contract or whether the trade is even worth putting on. So when I look at my delta metric, it is the first thing I look at the options chain. When I'm combining my technical analysis support and resistance levels, I pull up my options chain, and before even looking at the strike prices, I look at the deltas.
I love it. So you mentioned delta there. Is it delta or theta that you focus more on?
So to open the trade, delta.
Okay.
Theta we just let work for us, right? Because it's time decay. So as time passes, it's working for us. It's as we're sleeping, theta's chewing up the value of the contract, so we're making money in our sleep.
Okay. Ghost D. Do you sell put? Please explain. So
Yeah.
I think you made this point, but just one more time because it's new for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So do I sell puts was the question?
Yes.
Absolutely. So if you have any familiarity with options, a put is a bearish entity, right? But I use it in a bullish case, a bull put spread. And that is my favorite position to put on because I am now going into strength with the overall market. We all know the market all goes up over time. So if I can continuously collect premium selling puts, putting me in a bullish trade via a bearish entity, I will continuously do that.
All right, now we got a real live example, Joe. Havana Woody. Shout out to my man Havana. He's one of the OGs in the chat.
Okay, shout out.
What are your thoughts, Joe, on selling covered calls on Donald John Trump shares I own for the November 15th expiry? The premiums seem very high. Do we need TA or do we have to look at the
let me pull up DJT here. So if you're selling covered calls, that means you're already in a long position.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
So again, absolutely. If you want to gain some extra passive income, maybe potentially buy more shares, sell the covered calls. Sell them far out the money so you don't get assigned, especially if you want to hold on to the stock. So if you want to get assigned, you're going to come closer to at the money, right? And then eventually you will get assigned, but then you'll have to give your shares away. If you just want to collect premium while owning the shares, sell those covered calls far out the money.
Love it, man. All right, and last one over here. Joe, should we buy leap options instead of spreads if we want to go long on the underlying instead of buying the stock for better buying margin?
I absolutely love that question. That is a fantastic question. I love leaps. Leaps are great. So spread, when you create a spread, so I like this question because when you create a bull put spread, a bull call spread, total of opposite of what we're talking about, you're capping your profits. So when you buy a leap, yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but your profit limit is essentially infinite. So that's why we like leaps, right? So if you don't say you don't have the capital to buy 100 shares of Apple or something like that, then you can buy a leap expiring 2 years out and say you spend a couple grand on it opposed to 20 grand on the 100 shares, you can spend a couple grand on the leap on Apple and still have access to those 100 shares.
Man, you're getting a lot of love here. Tara, please, more of these new faces. They are so good and explain so well. Bravo, says Tara. Then you got love from one of the OGs, Juan Alejandro Castillo.
Oh.
I understand nothing, yet I really enjoy this guy talking. So even,
We
bro,
like it.
your voice is soothing.
Hey, man, hey, we want you to understand some stuff, but if you're enjoying yourself,
Yes,
that's all that
of
matters.
course.
That's what we want.
Absolutely. I said that one just for, you know what, and giggles.
Yeah,
but
just have fun.
Mark Knight, member for 25 months. Shout out to you, Mark. I'd like to wish happy anniversary to my wife, Marie. 3 years of happiness together. Love you more than anything. And yes, baby, we're long Baba. Yes, my
let's
man.
go.
We were long
Let's
Baba
go.
with you earlier. Mark Knight, the OG. Thank you again, Mark, for 25 months of being a member. And certainly happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife. Marie, I hope you guys have a lifetime of happiness. Shout out to you guys on that one. Do appreciate the comment there, guys. It looks like maybe here, I don't know, Joe, something afoot in these markets. Maybe the winds of change coming here because we're breaking through some of these moving averages. You're seeing the likes of the future above the 10 and the 20. Your meta is now approaching the 20. These are anemic bounces, to be quite honest with you. There's really no direction so far. Apple seems to be above the volume weighted average price. Is there any other one that's above VWAP? No, Apple is alone in that regard. So even though it's only up 0.43, highly consolidative on the day, ranging at that volume weighted average price. There was a gnarly double bottom at 226.70 that, you know, not a level I charted personally, but ex post facto after the fact, you can kind of see that little bit of a double bottom there. But yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot, I guess, in these Mag 7 days. Maybe there was, I just didn't cover them. Goggles, I should mention as well, GOOGL. Interesting look here as well, kind of same area of support that it bounced off last time. There's the 1120 candle that found support at 162 1/3. We get right back into that level at 125. We do breach it. We do print a low of day, but it's very, very small move below the previous low, 162.28. And now we're moving into the 50 exponential, sorry, the 10 exponential, excuse me, on the 5. Let's see if Google wants to double bottom here and move up. But yeah, man, I got to tell you. So I use these LLMs a lot for like so many different things. Gemini is done.
Yeah?
I am no longer using
No,
it.
you're not using
No,
it?
bro,
No,
no.
you're done with
It
them?
disappoints me
See you
every
later.
day.
So you're just gonna stick to Bing, I guess?
The thing is, I'm using ChatGPT now. But I was watching CNBC this morning, and one guy who always gives Elon a hard time was actually talking about Grok being really good.
Grok, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I want to give that a shot.
Hey, so we got these large language models everywhere. They're popping up left, right, and center. So one's gonna show up on top.
Yes,
One's going to come out on top, absolutely. So we're looking forward to that. We're just in the beginner phase of this stuff. It's like the iPhone 3 almost.
Exactly.
We're naming it a flip phone, a keyboard phone, or something like
Exactly.
that. So we're just in the beginning of this. So that's it. Yeah. And just a shout out to a couple guys in the chat. Rogello, thanks. I appreciate it. Some great stuff, great feedback, showing the love. You guys, everybody's showing the love. And there's a couple other names in there. Miguel Lopez, appreciated everything. Thanks for the love, much appreciated.
Like I'll go into Gemini and it'll be like an article with a political figure in it. Just anybody, Joe, anybody. It's like, even if the article is not about that figure, it won't review it. It'll be like, no, I'm just an LLM. I can't provide you a comment on political figures. I'm not asking you to provide a comment. I'm asking you to review the damn article. That's one. Two, if the article is too long, Joe, it gets mad. It gets upset.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm an LLM. I can't help you with this long article. I don't understand. You throw that into ChatGPT, it's done in 2 seconds.
It's done.
So it's like, what are you doing over here, right? So I'm disappointed with Gemini. I got to be honest with you. And so we'll see how that all works out. And we all talking about this in the beginning of the year too. Do LLMs fundamentally change search?
Absolutely.
Right?
If you, any question, I need a script of this. It's crazy. When I first discovered this stuff, it was like I would type anything into it and it would give me an answer that I was looking for. And I'm like, there's no way. I didn't know this existed. We didn't have this when we were significantly younger. So this is groundbreaking innovation here. This is the new. We've now left the car phone and we're going to something extremely different. This is great. This is great stuff, and it's just the beginning, as I said before.
I don't know how to even respond to this. Is Joe single? I want him as a stepdad. You're hilarious, man. Viva Jurgen, you made me chuckle there. But what's going on over there, Viva? Come on, get it together, Viva.
Yeah, sorry. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's probably watching right now. So she might not like that one even.
All right, John Del Segno, huge spot for SMCI, probably in turn the Qs. It's going to test that double top at the bottom. Let's bring it in an SMCI chart here and look at what John Del Segno is dropping hot lines about. Okay, I see what you're dropping hot lines about, John. We're rounded bottom. So this is certainly rounding over here. We're putting in sequentially higher lows. Excuse me. And higher highs. We're now above the 10 and the 20. And now look where the 10 is pointing. Look where the 20 is pointing. They're pointing up. So it's not the biggest thing in the world, and you shouldn't rely entirely on it. But hey, OB loves the mean reversion trade. The mean reversion trade doesn't work one way. It's not only when things pop, you reverse. No, when things sell off, they can move back up as well. The mean reversion is what it is. You're reverting back to the mean. So let's see if this one can go, man. I want to see what it does. Number one at 400. Number two, I want to see what it does at 415, where the volume weighted average price is. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, John. I'm pretty sure some of the traders would like to have notice of that. Ian Respeto, my man, $10 super chat. We're going to drop the money there. Hey, Joe. What's the best way to start learning options if you have never done before and have no knowledge of how they work? Any resources or videos you have yourself? Thanks. First of all, watch a show when Joe's on, but second of all, Joe's going to give you some info.
Yeah, that's such a great question. You got to start somewhere with everything. You got to start somewhere. So my suggestion is to you, start with YouTube. Go type in option strategy, basic option strategy on YouTube. That's why we call it YouTube University, because you can learn so much from it. You type in something in the search and you're going to find it. Once you've dabbled into the basics on YouTube with your search and you kind of get more familiar with options, then you can start going into the books that we discussed earlier. So keep working, keep moving forward. It'll come. They may seem complicated at first, but as I stated before, the more you try something, the more you do something, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. So once you start there, you got to start somewhere, and then eventually you just build and build and build from that. So yeah, shout out Richie, thank you. Wow. Yeah, all the love. Shout out all the love in the chat. And again, guys, keep throwing me your questions in the chat. If you have any options questions, please keep sending them my way, and I'm going to answer as many as we can. We don't have much time left here on the show, but the more you send out for me, I'm going to look into them. And oh, thanks, Rick. I am no options king, but I do enjoy options. So shout out to you, Rick, for that. Thanks for showing the love. Ricky Kwan, thank you. Thank you, Ruben. We like it. Okay, you're throwing out me some tickers. Join Costco is a great stock. We like Costco. If you're going to own Costco, it's best for the long term, right? We like Costco. The thing is an absolutely outstanding stock. If you look at the daily perspective, let me pull up a daily on Costco. The thing is just cash, right? So we like Costco for the long run. Maybe buy it, don't trade it intraday. So we'll keep it from that perspective. But Costco is great. Get your shares of Costco. If they split, that would be fantastic, because I would personally like to own some Costco myself for the long term. So just like NVIDIA, they split. If Costco, and Walmart split too, so not too long ago. So Walmart, Costco, those are great retail stocks, Stone.
Fabian was just asking me right now, is there any way to paper trade options? I know for certain there is, because IBKR allows you to, but obviously other platforms allow you to as well.
I'm sure they do, but yes, to add on to that, IBKR. If you just get familiar, if you're going to trade on something, see if that platform has paper trading itself, so that when you go to execute live, you're not making silly mistakes, like costly errors and stuff like that. There will be some growing pains. Absolutely, it comes with everything. Right. But get familiar with trading paper with the same account or brokerage that you're going to trade live with.
Love it, man. Ruben, thank you for the super chat, my man. $4.99. Not seeing an attached message. Ruben, if you want to tag me or Joe with any message, be happy to answer it or shout you out, whatever the situation is. Pathek, Sharif, Joe, please ask Joe an important question. Does hammer candle on SPY 15, 30, or the 45-minute chart mean reversal for sure? I'm in puts for SPY 171. Thoughts or hold? Well, I don't know if anything's for sure. I'm going to let Joe answer for himself. But
no, nothing. Unfortunately, nothing's for sure in this game, because if it was, we would be disgustingly rich. So no, nothing is for sure. But the more sample size that you gather, the more conviction you'll have in the trade, and you'll notice the little nuances within price. So when you notice those things, that gives you more conviction on whether that type of style of trading is going to work.
Fantastic. Look at this. Italian honeybees. Joseph, the Oracle of Options. Thanks. Not the Oracle of Omaha.
No.
The Oracle of Options, baby.
Right,
I love it.
All right, we'll take it.
There goes Baba, ladies and gentlemen, through that 104.80 top. This has been a resistance level on the day. Look over here. Before we broke it, there was certainly a shelf at 80. We just took it out after consolidating to no end. I was watching this as it was forming. Great move today for Baba. I don't want to say it's predictable, but it did give you, look, this is not an area that I would have charted, okay, because it didn't have anything to do with the moving averages, but it was very predictable in the sense that that 104 level that was very obvious there. You had the IB high into 104. You had an attempt at 10.15 into 104, and it rejected. Once you took 104, you used 104 as support. This is a great technical analysis, support and resistance setup. I don't want to say it's predictable, but this gave you a long time to make your decision. Like this 104 touch started at 12:40 in the afternoon, and we got off the schneid at 1:20. So you had plenty of opportunities to add, scalp, even play the range before waiting for the breakout like I did there through that 104.40, and then it continued to give you, it did another little range right there, right? From 104.80 to the downside to 104.60, so the range tightened up, but we were higher, and there it goes now. I mean, it's printing local highs, wanting to break 105, BA. really strong on the day. It's not the only Chinese ADR, obviously, that's strong. Just to give you an, say it again, Katina Man? The Katina Man is displeased with Alibaba at the moment. But PDD, guys, 14%. JD.com, 14 in the fifth. XPEV, oh my goodness, 11 in the third, Joe. Billy just won't stop. Billy's at, is this day high? No, there's no way this is a day high. BILI, no way. No, close. About 40 pennies or so. Billy's up 16 and a fifth. You got some other stuff. KWeb, the ETF, obviously 11 and a third, Joe. And the FXI, 7.85, which is another Chinese ADR ATF. But the ADRs are in play, man.
They're in play. So yeah, they're really in play right now. We got the rate cuts from the Chinese government, so we're buzzing. We're almost out of time here, but we got one more question. What are your thoughts for PDD swings at this level? See, the incredible Mr. Lib, I will not be buying it up here. Wait for it to come back a little bit, and then maybe you'll get a little bit better of an entry. But again, with the Chinese government stimulating the economy, who knows how higher these things can go, right? They've been battered, they've been beaten for the past couple of years. So again, wait for it to pull in a little bit, and then maybe you can enter a trade there.
Yeah, and let's put this in context, man. Charlie Munger obviously is no longer with us, but they were buying this at 250. At 225, guys. I mean, big money was buying it at that level. We're at 105, so we still got some ways to go. You know what I mean?
Like we were just coming off the bottoms there, so there's a lot of room to recover there. Absolutely.
Mashworth wants us to talk about NVIDIA. Absolutely, we shall take you up on that. Obviously, the big kahunas are going to be on in exactly 2 minutes. Likely, NVIDIA is going to be on the rundown if history is any guide. But look, man, NVIDIA is lower lows, lower highs on the day. It's been very strong lately. Let's be realistic. It's only down 0.25% today. It's been, I don't know what the percentage up on the week is, but it's obviously green. Okay, so let's give it a breather today. We got really good headlines out of Micron. SK Hynix as well apparently was up big on the Korean markets as well. And the reason that Micron was affecting, microchips in general is because demand for these advanced AI GPUs requires high bandwidth memory to make the entire server. So, demand for one basically translates into demand for other, not so cut and dry, obviously, but that's a very basic definition or explanation of it. So obviously that had a very good influence today on the semis. And as you can see, Naria, red name, obviously SMCI, red for its own reasons today because the Department of Justice looking at investigating them for fraudulent accounting practices. That is after, guys, the Hindenburg hit piece that we got last month. SMCI sold off aggressively on that. Obviously got bought back up, but nowhere near where it was before. This thing was about $1,400, I forget. People were asking in the chat, does this latest down move affect the split upcoming? I don't know. I don't know if they can backtrack on it. I don't know what the rules are with respect to that, and I don't know how much it's going to affect it. It's still $400 stock, so it can still split.
It's still split. It's still split. Well, it was $1,000 not too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah. So it can still split. How much they want to split now, I don't know.
The Katina Man says they can still split.
They're still going to split. So they're still going to split. We're running out of time. It's almost 2 o'clock. Action-packed midday show.
I'm going to let you send it off, man.
No, that's your job. But I'll send it off. We got a big hockey game tonight. What a day with Sharif here. He was putting up numbers. Great trades on Baba there. We had a great time and looking forward to talking to you guys again.
It's okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Joe and I. I think Joe absolutely killed it today on the lessons for options. Make sure to join us again because he will be back on. He will be dropping hot lines about options. But for now, we're going to send it over to the right, to the big kahunas.
Oh, you can't. They don't know it's to the right. It could be to the left. You guys wouldn't know. No, it's okay. Fine. You've seen the shot. You guys.